should have worked. That mob should have actually worked. And he would have. And he would have done it had he been in Pence's shoes, which is the job he's auditioning for. It's now exactly 9 o'clock on the East Coast. In just one moment, Tim Walz and J.D. Vance are going to participate in the vice presidential debate. It's hosted by CBS News. We will be showing it here in its entirety live. This is the only vice presidential debate scheduled. It could also be the last debate of any kind before Election Day on November 5th. If this is the last big event, this means this could be the most eyeballs either campaign gets before a majority of voters cast their ballots. Tim Walz was a public school teacher and a high school football coach in Minnesota before he entered politics into Congress and then into the governorship in Minnesota. J.D. Vance is a small-time venture capitalist whose whole private sector career and his rise in Republican politics has been single-handedly financially supported by a pro-Trump right-wing tech billionaire. And the contrast between these guys could not be greater, and of course neither could the stakes. Here now, the vice presidential debate.
Good evening, I'm Norah O'Donnell, and thank you for joining us for tonight's CBS News Vice Presidential Debate. We want to welcome our viewers on CBS, on other networks here in the U.S. and around the world. We have a consequential night ahead, and our focus is the issues that matter to you, the voter. Let's introduce the candidates. Minnesota's Democratic Governor Tim Walz and Ohio's Republican Senator J.D. Vance, tonight meeting for the first time. I'm Margaret Brennan. In order to have a thoughtful and civil debate, these are the rules that both campaigns have agreed to. Questions will be directed at one candidate, who will have 2 minutes to respond. The other candidate will be allowed 2 minutes for rebuttal. Then each candidate will get another minute to make further points, with an additional 1 minute each at the discretion of the moderator. The primary role of the moderators is to facilitate the debate between the candidates.
Yo, here we go. Here we go with this nonsense. Yeah. Roll it!
Enforce the rules and provide the candidates with the opportunity to fact-check claims made by each other.
Oh, I'm a fact check them, all right. I'm a fact check them. It's on.
CBS News reserves the right to mute the candidates' microphones to maintain decorum.
Oh, boy. I want to see this.
We have not shared the questions or topics.
What's going on? Everything is good. We had Friday Night Lights on a Tuesday out on the field because we missed our Friday Night Lights because of the rain. But now I'm back. Let's do this.
With the campaigns, the stage is set. Governor, Senator, thank you for joining us.
Senator Eyeliner.
Let's get started. Tonight, our country is facing several unfolding crises. The Middle East is on the brink of war.
Hey, that's not our country, you idiot.
Americans are suffering from the catastrophic impact of Hurricane Helene.
Yeah, that's climate change that this idiot has been denying forever.
A labor strike as 25,000 dock workers from Maine to Texas are picketing. We're going to begin tonight with the Middle East. Margaret.
Thank you, Nora. Earlier today, Iran launched its largest attack yet on Israel, but that attack failed, thanks to joint U.S. and Israeli defensive action. President Biden has deployed more than 40,000 U.S. military personnel and assets to that region.
Israel, don't say we're not helping you.
Over the past year to try to prevent a regional war. Iran is weakened, but the U.S. still considers it the largest state sponsor of terrorism in the world, and it has drastically reduced the time it would take to develop a nuclear weapon. It is down now to 1 or 2 weeks' time. Governor Walz, if you were the final voice in the Situation Room, would you support or oppose a preemptive strike by Israel on Iran? You have 2 minutes.
Well, thank you, and thank you for those joining at home tonight. Let's keep in mind where this started. October 7th, Hamas terrorists massacred over 1,400 Israelis and took prisoners. Israel's ability to be able to defend itself is absolutely fundamental. Getting its hostages back, fundamental, and ending the humanitarian crisis in Gaza. But The expansion of Israel and its proxies is an absolute fundamental necessity for the United States to have the steady leadership there. You saw it experienced today, where along with our Israeli partners and our coalition, able to stop the incoming attack. But what's fundamental here is that steady leadership is going to matter. It's clear, and the world saw it on that debate stage a few weeks ago, a nearly 80-year-old Donald Trump talking about crowd
All right.
sizes is not what we need in this moment. But it's not just that. It's those that were closest to Donald Trump that understand how
By the way, I still haven't figured out if I'm going to get a copyright strike for this. I hope not, you know. Oh, well. We move on.
dangerous he is when the world is this dangerous. His chief of staff, John Kelly, said that he was the most flawed human being he'd ever met.
Oh.
And both
Hey, guess what? Guess what? You don't even have to go that far. That dude to your right said the same shit.
of his secretaries of defense and his national security advisors said he should be nowhere near the White House. Now, the person closest to them, Donald Trump, said he's unfit for the highest office. That was Senator Vance. What we've seen
There you go.
of Vice President Harris is we've seen steady leadership. We've seen a calmness that is able to draw on the coalitions to bring them together. Understanding that our allies matter. When our allies see Donald Trump turn towards Vladimir Putin, turn towards North Korea, when we start to see that type of fickleness around holding the coalitions together, we will stay committed. And as
Yeah, he's got to grill Trump. This is not about that other moron.
the vice president said today is, we will protect our forces and our allied forces, and there will be consequences.
Oh,
Governor, your time is up. Senator Vance, the same question. Would you support or oppose a preemptive strike by Israel on Iran? You have 2 minutes.
Well, honey, first of all, it's good to see you and stuff. Do you get your Maybelline from Ulta?
Margaret, I want to answer the question. First of all, thanks, Governor. Thanks to CBS for hosting the debate. And thanks, most importantly, to the American people who are watching this evening and caring enough about this country to pay attention to this vice presidential debate. I want to answer the question, but I want to actually give an introduction to myself a little bit because
nobody gives a shit. Answer the question. Here we go again. Answer the question.
recognize a lot of Americans don't know who either one of us are. I was raised in a working class family. My mother required food assistance.
Oh, God. Your mother was a junkie. Your mother, as a matter of fact, let's talk about this guy's mother for a second. This guy's mother was a nurse. She stole pain meds to take them herself because she was a junkie, right? And people that needed those pain meds suffered because of this asshole's mother. Yeah,
For periods of her life, my grandmother required Social Security help to raise me, and she raised me.
Yeah, right. The Social Security help that you want to take away, right, you prick?
In part because my own mother struggled with addiction for a big chunk of my
I told you. And you know what drugs she was taking? Other patients' drugs. Fucking bitch.
early life. I went to college on the GI Bill after I enlisted in the Marine Corps and served.
No, forget about it. He does have nice eyes. I mean, those eyes are like pools. My mother has those eyes, man, you know? But yeah, no. You ain't got to put eyeliner around them.
Iraq. And so I stand here asking to be your vice president with extraordinary gratitude for this country, for the American dream that made it possible for me to live my dreams.
Oh, nobody cares.
And most importantly, I know that a lot of you are worried about the chaos in the world and the feeling that the American dream is unattainable.
Nope. I'm good. What about you? I live 3 doors down from Stinky. That's right. We'll have the American dream when his ass goes away.
I want to try to convince you tonight over the next 90 minutes that if we get better leadership in the White House, if we get Donald Trump back in the White
Yeah, right. How'd that work out the first time, you asshole?
House, the American dream is going to be attainable once again. Now, to answer this particular question, we have to remember that as much as Governor
Good God. This should be like Congress. Hey, it's time I reclaim my time.
just accused Donald Trump of being an agent of chaos. Donald Trump actually delivered stability in the world, and he did
What? What?
by establishing effective deterrence.
What?
People were afraid of stepping out of line.
No, that's not true.
Iran, which launched this attack, has received over $100 billion in unfrozen assets thanks to the
Nope. That's a lie, number one. And number two, Stinky gave them a waiver to sell oil because he freaked out and thought that the price was going to go up if he sanctioned them. No, he gave them a waiver to sell oil. They sold all kinds of oil to China. So shut up there. Shut up there, Mrs. Doubtfire.
Kamala Harris administration. What do they use that money for? They use it to buy weapons that they're now launching against our allies, and God forbid,
No, that's a lie.
launching against the United States as well. Donald Trump
Nope, that's a lie. Now, if Waltz was smart, all he'd have to do is go, nope, that's a lie.
recognized that for people to fear the United States, you needed peace through strength. They needed to recognize that if it got out of line, the United States global leadership would put stability and peace back.
Yeah, right. The global leadership. Yeah. That asshole wanted to take us out of NATO, you prick.
In the world. Now, you asked about a preemptive strike, Margaret, and I want to answer the question. Look, it is up to Israel what they think they need to do to keep their country safe, and we should support our allies.
We do. Didn't you hear what she said? She just said that because of the United States and Israel in a joint force, they deterred that attack. We did with our arms. Yeah.
They are when they're fighting the bad guys. I think that's the right approach to take with the Israel question.
Thank you, Senator.
He still didn't answer the question. After all that stupid shit about his junky ass mother, he still didn't answer the question.
Governor Walz, do you care to respond to any of the allegations?
No, coach, let your quarterback give you some advice. Call him a fucking liar.
Donald Trump was in office. We'll sometimes hear a revisionist history, but when Donald Trump was in office, it was Donald
Slow down, coach. Slow down.
Trump, who we had a coalition of nations that had boxed Iran's nuclear program in, the inability to advance it. Donald Trump pulled that program and put nothing else in its place. So Iran is closer to a nuclear weapon than they were before because of Donald Trump's...
Of course. We had him in check. But no, that functionally illiterate moron shit all over the deal we had with him.
Leadership. And when Iran shot down an American aircraft in international airspace, Donald Trump tweeted, because that's the standard diplomacy of Donald Trump. And when Iranian missiles did fall near U.S. troops and they received traumatic brain injuries, Donald Trump wrote it off as headaches.
Oh, touche, coach.
Look, our allies understand that Donald Trump is fickle. He will go to whoever...
Fickle? He's a moron. A mouth-breathing, slack-jawed moron.
...has the most flattery or where it makes sense to him. Steady...
Yeah, he's just got to slow down a little bit, Bo. He's just got to slow down a little bit. He's in a hurry to get it all out because he's got a lot of good information. What he has to do is slow down a little bit. Yeah.
Like you witnessed today, like you witnessed in April. Both Iranian attacks were repelled. Our coalition is strong, and we need the steady leadership that Kamala Harris is providing.
Senator Vance, the U.S. did have a diplomatic deal with Iran to temporarily pause parts of its nuclear program, and President Trump did exit that deal.
Of course he did, because he's a woman.
He recently said, just 5 days ago, the U.S. must now make a diplomatic deal with Iran.
Yeah, because he's a moron. This is an incompetent moron. As a matter of fact, guys, on a more serious note, if you get a chance, go watch Anthony Davis, the 5 Minute News. He had a great report, right? I made fun of it a little bit, but about how our brightest minds, what they think about Trump, okay? About Stinky. As a matter of fact, he pretty much covered it. All the biologists, the nuclear scientists, all these guys came and talked about what would happen if this guy became the president. It's on Anthony Davis 5-Minute News. It's a 2-part video. It's very good. And it'll freak you out a little bit. But me, nah, I just laugh at that shit.
On because the consequences are impossible. Did he make a mistake? You have 1 minute.
Well, first of all, Margaret, diplomacy is not a dirty word, but I think that's something the governor will.
Diplomacy's not a dirty word. What the hell was that? What's those hand gestures there, my drag queen?
Waltz just said is quite
Lola. I'm going to call you Lola.
extraordinary. You yourself just said Iran is as close to a nuclear weapon today as they have ever been. And Governor Waltz, you blame Donald Trump.
Yep, that's right.
Who has been the vice president for the last 3.5 years? And the answer is your running mate, not mine. Donald Trump consistently made the world more secure.
How? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? With those fuck-ass peace accords? They had a peace accord between two countries that weren't even fighting with each other. As soon as they made those stupid fuck-ass peace accords, these people started planning October the 7th. You prick.
We talk about what, the sequence of events that led us to where we are right now, and you can't ignore.
Oh yeah. I would love for him to talk about the sequence of events that led to this. Yeah, because it started with his fuck-ass peace accords. Yep, that's right.
Which I appreciate Governor Waltz bringing up. But when did Iran and Hamas and their proxies attack Israel? It was during the administration of Kamala Harris. So, Governor Waltz.
Nope. Look, you started it.
Waltz can criticize Donald Trump's tweets, but effective, smart diplomacy and peace through strength is how you bring stability back to a very broken world. Donald Trump has already done it once before. Ask yourself at home, when was the last time, I'm 40 years old, when was the last time that an American president didn't have a major conflict break out? The only answer is during...
Wait. There were 51 conflicts going on with him, okay? Wait, right there. Afghanistan was raging, right? 100 dead soldiers on his watch, right? Like 96 to be exact. I don't like to parse words when it comes to our dead heroes, you know? That idiot, that moron, that functionally illiterate anti-American prick went to 3 dignified transfers. And on the 4th one, a soldier's mother told him to eat shit and drop dead, and he never went back because he's a punk. He's a coward. Continue, hag.
The 4 years that Donald Trump was president.
Gentlemen, we have a lot to get to. Nora?
Margaret, thank you. Let's turn now to Hurricane Helene. The storm could become one of the deadliest on record. More than 160 people are dead and hundreds more are missing. Scientists say climate change makes these hurricanes larger, stronger, and more deadly because of the historic rainfall. Senator Vance, according to CBS News polling, 7 in 10 Americans and more than 60% of Republicans under the age of 45 favor the U.S. taking steps to try and reduce climate change. Senator, what responsibility would the Trump administration have to try and reduce the impact of climate change?
Right. I want to hear this because he said it doesn't exist, okay? And he said that nobody expected this hurricane because it came late in the season. That hurricane has come, believe me, I'm down here in Florida, right? That hurricane has come in the peak of hurricane season, okay? All right? Yeah, I want to hear what you're going to say because he shits on climate change and he wants to destroy the world every time he opens his mouth.
Give you 2 minutes.
Sure. So first of all, let's start with the hurricane because it's an unbelievable, unspeakable human tragedy. I just saw today, actually.
It's a natural disaster, by the way,
photograph
caused by climate change.
Of 2 grandparents on a
Wait. Stop.
Roof with a 6-year-old child, and it was the last photograph ever taken of them because the roof collapsed and those innocent people lost their lives. And I'm sure Governor Waltz.
Yeah, right. Okay, great. So why does Stinky shit on those on climate change and all that? As soon as that thing hit the warm waters of the Gulf, it exploded, like always. Yeah. because the temperature of the water goes up every year. We break records every year that the planet's on fire.
Joins me in saying our hearts go out to those innocent people, our prayers go out to them, and we want as robust and aggressive as a federal
You want us robust and aggressive?
response as we can get to save as many lives as possible, and then of course afterwards to help the people in those communities rebuild. I mean, these are communities that I love. Some of them I know very personally in Appalachia, all across the Southeast. They need their government.
Man, you don't know jack shit about Appalachia, you son of a bitch. When you want to shit on it like you did in that stupid book of yours. Yeah.
To do their job. And I commit that when Donald Trump is president again, the government will put the citizens of this country first.
Yeah, right. Have you seen your Project 2025? Project 2025 calls for dismantling FEMA. Yeah. You son of a bitch. You Nazi.
They suffer from a disaster. And Nora, you asked about climate change. I think this is a very important issue. Look, a lot of people are justifiably worried about all these crazy weather patterns. I think.
Hey, well, hold on. For all my bots in there, guess what? Zelensky left here with billions of bombs to drop on your head. Billions of dollars worth of bombs to drop on your head. Boom! Hey, have you all taken over Ukraine yet? I thought you were supposed to get it in 2 weeks. What happened? You guys suck at war. Sleepy Joe is kicking your ass from a half a world away with some proxies.
It's important for us, first of all, to say Donald Trump and I support clean air, clean water. We want
Yeah, right. Yeah, right.
the environment to be cleaner and safer. But one of the things that I've noticed some of our Democratic friends talking a lot about is a concern about carbon emissions, this idea that carbon emissions drives all of the climate change.
It does. It does, you prick.
Well, let's just say that's true, just for the sake of argument.
No, it's true. It's true. What do you think? You're some kind of scientist or something? It's true.
Arguing about weird science, let's just say that's true.
Weird science. What? You're an idiot. You're an idiot. You're an idiot with your fake news. Yeah.
Well, if you believe that, what would you?
What do you mean if you believe
The
that?
answer
Those
is
are
you
facts. Those are facts, you asshole.
reshore as much American manufacturing as possible, and you'd want to produce.
Hey, the Chips and Science Act is doing that. Ask China. Ask China. Stinky didn't do a damn thing for this country.
As much energy as possible in the United States of America because we're the cleanest economy in the entire world.
What are you talking about? What are you talking about? We're one of the world's worst polluters.
What have Kamala Harris's policies actually led to? More energy production in China, more...
Nope. That's a lie. We are energy independent right now for the first time ever.
manufacturing overseas, more doing business in some of the dirtiest parts of the entire world. And when I say that, I mean...
Nope. You know who's one of the dirtiest parts of... That China ain't too clean either. Yeah, the one you're saying makes a bunch of plants. You're an idiot.
The amount of carbon emissions they're doing per unit of economic output.
Oh, that was a gay moment right there. Hold on. Wait. Watch.
China, more
Watch the bounce.
Overseas,
Here it comes.
More doing business in some of the dirtiest parts of the entire world. And when I say that, I mean the amount of carbon emissions they're doing per unit of economic
What they doing per unit? Bow and curtsy, honey.
output. So if we actually care about getting cleaner air and cleaner water, the best thing to do is to double down and invest in American workers and the American...
What are you talking about? What are you talking about? You know what cleans up water? You know what cleans up the air? Regulations. The ones that you want to kill. Yeah, that's what cleans up water and air. You prick. You son of a bitch.
And people, and unfortunately, Kamala Harris has done exactly the opposite.
Governor Walz, you have 2 minutes to respond.
Well, we got close to an agreement because all those things are happening. Look.
Hey, wait. He only has 2 minutes to respond? He only has 2 minutes to respond? Are you kidding me? That asshole went on for 10 minutes with his nonsense. His commercial for Exxon.
It is a horrific tragedy. with this hurricane, and my heart goes out to the folks that are down there in contact with the governors. I serve as co-chair of the Council of Governors as we work
Slow down, slow down.
together on these emergency managements. Governors know no partisanship. They work together to all of the governors and the emergency responders on the ground. Those happen on the front end. The federal government comes in, makes sure they're there that we recover, but we're still in that phase where we need to make sure that they're staying there, staying focused. Now look, coming back to the climate change issue, there's no doubt this thing roared onto the scene faster and stronger than anything we've seen. Senator Vance has said that there's a climate problem in the past. Donald Trump called it a hoax and then joked that these things would make more beachfront property to be able to invest in. What we've seen out of the Harris administration now, the Biden-Harris administration, is we've seen this investment. We've seen massive investments, the biggest in global history that we've seen in the Inflation Reduction Act, has created jobs all across the country. 2,000 in Jeffersonville, Ohio, taking the EV technology that we invented and making it here. 200,000 jobs across the country. The largest solar manufacturing plant in North America sits in Minnesota. But my farmers...
See, this is the way we've got to go. This is the way we've got to go. That oil, all that shit is going to go the way of the dinosaur.
No, climate change is real. They've seen 500-year droughts, 500-year floods back to back. But what they're doing is adapting, and this has allowed them to tell me, look, I harvest corn, I harvest soybean, and I harvest wind. We are producing more natural gas and more oil at any time.
Hey, you know what? There are 50 places you can go if you want to watch this shit. I don't care. I'll stop it whenever I want.
And we ever have. We're also producing more clean energy. So
Wait. Boom!
the solution for us is to continue to move forward, that climate change is real. Reducing our impact is absolutely critical, but this is not a false choice. You can do that at the same time you're creating the jobs that we're seeing all across the country. That's exactly what this administration has done. We are seeing us becoming an energy superpower for the future, not just the current. And that's what absolutely makes sense. And then we start thinking about how do we mitigate these disasters.
Thank you. Senator, I want to give you an opportunity
That was a straight up answer right there. Yeah, What say you, Lolita?
to respond there. The governor mentioned that President Trump has called climate change a hoax. Do you agree?
Well, look, what the president has said is that if the Democrats, in particular Kamala Harris and her leadership, if they really believe that climate change is serious, what they would be doing is...
Nope. He called it a hoax. He calls it a hoax every day. Every day.
more manufacturing and more energy production
What is he talking about? What are you talking about?
in the United States of America, and that's not what they're doing. So clearly Kamala Harris herself doesn't believe her own rhetoric
He just said what you're doing. He just said it.
on this. If she did, she would actually agree with Donald Trump's energy policies. Now, something
No.
Governor Walz said, I think
What, drill, baby, drill?
it's important to touch upon, because when we talk about clean energy, I think that's a slogan that often the Democrats will use here. I'm talking, of course, about the Democratic leadership. And the real issue is that if you're spending hundreds of millions or even billions of dollars of American taxpayer money on solar panels that are made in China, number
Nope. That's not true.
one, you're going to
That's not true. That's a lie.
make the economy dirtier. We should be making more of those solar panels here in the United States of America. Some of them are, Tim, but a lot of them are being
Nope. We're doing it here.
made overseas in China, especially the components that go into those solar panels. So if
Hey, we need it. We need the stuff. What's your problem?
you really
No. You just don't want to do any type of renewable energy because you're in the pocket of Exxon, that planet-rotting sack of shit. And you just might want to go tell those run back to your buddies and tell them that oil is dead. It's dead. It's dead. Those cars that blow shit out of the tailpipe, it's over. It's over. It's over. Look, guys, I have chargers in the parking lot of my business, right? One of my businesses. Okay? Yeah, we have them there. It used to be about 3 years ago, you get 1-2 cars a day. Now those electric pumps run 24/7. 24/7. That's it. That's it. That's it. These gas cars are dead. They're dead.
Want to make the environment cleaner, you've got to invest in more energy production.
Yeah, okay. Did you hear what this guy just said? Did you hear what this guy just said? If you want to make the environment cleaner, you got to invest in more oil. More oil. What is he talking about?
Built a nuclear facility, I think one in the past 40 years. Natural gas, we got to invest more.
No, we don't need that shit. Sorry.
Kamala Harris has done the opposite. That's raised energy prices and also meant
Nope. Your ass, the stinky, his bullshit response to COVID, and these people coming out and price gouging. You freak.
we're doing
Senator,
worse by
your
the
time
climate.
is up. Governor, would you like to respond?
Well, look, we're producing more natural gas than we ever have. There's no moratorium on that. We're producing more oil, but the folks know, and like I said again, these are not liberal folks. These are not folks that are Green New Deal folks. These are farmers that have been drought one year, massive flooding the next year. They understand that it makes sense. Look, our number one export cannot be topsoil from erosion from these massive storms. We saw it in Minnesota this summer. And thinking about how do we respond to that, we're thinking ahead on this. And what Kamala Harris has been able to do in Minnesota,
Stop. This hag right here is an imbecile.
we're starting to weatherproof some of these things. The infrastructure law that was passed allows us to think about mitigation in the future. How do we make sure that we're protecting by burying our power lines? How do we make sure that we're protecting lakefronts and things that we're seeing more and more of? But to call it a hoax and to take the oil company executives to Mar-a-Lago, say, give me money for my campaign and I'll let you do whatever you want. We can be smarter about that. And an all-above energy policy is exactly what she's doing, creating those jobs right here.
Governor, your time is up. The overwhelming consensus among scientists is that the Earth's climate is warming at an unprecedented rate. Margaret?
Thank you, Nora.
Oh!
I'm going to turn now to immigration. The crisis at the U.S.-Mexico border consistently ranks as one of the top issues for American voters.
What I want to know is why. I want to know why. Why? Why is that the top issue? I mean, cities are literally getting built and revitalized because of immigration. Because of immigration, you know? That's bullshit. Do we have a problem? Yes, we do. But the border bill would have put more agents on the border, number one, and number two, it would have gotten more judges, right, to process the people we're going to keep. But no, they don't want it. All they want this is a wedge issue, and it's bullshit. You know, the other day when I was in my business, right, because I'm in MAGA country, right. These MAGAs were telling me, oh, there's so much crime, so much crime. I opened the door, right, and I go, hey, take me to it. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? You see, you're full of shit.
Voters. Senator Vance, your campaign is pledging to carry out the largest mass deportation plan in America.
Do you know what that would do to the economy, first of all? And do you know what chaos that would cause? You know what a disaster that would be? That these racists would do that with these xenophobic slobs, these ignorant frauds, they're scared. You're scared of people that don't look like you. Yeah, that and the fact that you have a feminine side that dominates.
American history and to use the U.S. military to do so. Could you be more specific about exactly?
Can you imagine sicking our military on our own citizens? Can you imagine that? Can you imagine how stupid? What? This is a complete fever dream. It's bullshit. It's bullshit. Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly how this will work. For example, would you deport parents who have entered the U.S. illegally and separate them from any of their children who were born on U.S. soil?
Now, how would you know who is who? How would you know who's who? First of all, and that's bullshit. That's bullshit. Everybody that's here is working their ass off, okay? Because there's plenty of work.
You have 2 minutes.
So first of all, Margaret, before we talk about deportations,
No. What do you mean before we talk about deportations? She asked you about deportations. Talk about it.
we have to stop the bleeding. We have
What bleeding? What bleeding? We don't have enough workers. Ask Springfield. Ask that town, that stinky trash the other day in Pennsylvania, where they asked for those people. They offered them money to come there because they don't have workers.
Historic immigration crisis because
Nope. That's a lie. Nope.
Kamala Harris started and said
Nope. Fewer people are crossing the border now than they were with Stinky. Yeah. Just because you had a low amount in one time, because you were busy killing people here, doesn't mean that he didn't solve anything. He didn't solve a goddamn thing.
that she wanted to undo all of Donald Trump's border policies. 94 executive orders.
Oh, you know what? I want them to walk in my house, and then I want my dogs to go home and watch MTV. Okay? No, as a matter of fact, I want, let me see. Send me over 2, 3, 4, 5 immigrants. 2 to mow the lawn, 1 to do the pool, because there's no Americans that want to do that stupid shit, you know? 4 to do the pool. I need a cleaning lady, you know, maybe I can get her on the cheap, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I want everybody else, they can go home and watch MTV.
Suspending deportations, decriminalizing illegal aliens, massively increasing the asylum fraud that exists in our
Nope, that's a lie.
system. That has opened the floodgates.
Put it this way, that's bullshit. That's a lie. You want to get your papers, you ain't doing no fraud.
What it's meant is that a lot of fentanyl is coming into our country.
Nope, that's a lie. American citizens are trafficking that shit through legal ports of entry. And I'll tell you what, I have a remedy for the fentanyl epidemic. I have a remedy for it. How about this? Don't take it. How's that sound?
I had a mother who struggled with opioid addiction and has gotten
Yeah, that junkie stole all her patients' meds. That freak.
clean. I don't want people who are struggling with addiction to
You don't give a shit. You don't give a shit who's struggling. Oh, listen to him. This dude did a bogus charity, right? He started raising money for people that were addicted, and then he kept it. Are you kidding me? This guy talking about not people not being junkies, right? Okay? He started a charity for junkies and kept the money.
deprived of their second chance because Kamala Harris
Hey, thanks,
is
Timmy.
fentanyl into our communities at record levels. So you've got to
Nope. They're coming in through ports, through legal ports, and it's not coming in, and the amount has gone down.
stop the bleeding.
No, what do you mean stop the bleeding? What are you talking about?
You've got to re-implement Donald Trump's border policies.
What border policies did he do? Did he implement? Huh? Stay in Mexico? That was because of the pandemic. Not to mention, nobody was coming over here because we had the worst death rate in the world when it came to COVID because of the way he responded to it. Prick.
Build the wall, re-implement
Hey, I thought he said he built the wall. That's bullshit.
deportations. And that gets me to your point, Margaret, about what do we actually do? So we've got
What do we actually do? Dude, you're flaming at this point. You're flaming. Just come out. Turn into a Democrat and come out already.
20, 25 million illegal aliens who are here in the
Nope, that's a lie.
country. What do we do with them? I think the first thing that we do is we start with the criminal migrants.
You see? Yeah, okay. All right. How do we know who's a criminal? Huh? How do we know who's a criminal and who isn't? Huh? This is a disaster waiting to happen.
About 1 million of those people have committed some form of crime
Nope, that's a lie.
in addition to crossing
Nope, that's a lie.
the border illegally. I think you start with deportations on those folks.
Anybody that's a criminal that came from somewhere else that doesn't have papers, they serve their jail time, then they kick them out of the country. It's bullshit. This is all race baiting is what this is.
And then I think you make it harder for illegal aliens to undercut the wages of American workers.
Hey, I got an idea for that. Why don't you fine and jail the people that employ illegal aliens? How would that, yeah, how would that work? Huh? No, you wouldn't touch them, right? No, yeah,
A lot of people will go home if they can't work for less than minimum wage in our own country. And by the way, that'll be really good for our workers who just want to earn a fair wage for doing a good day's work. And the final point, Margaret, is you asked about family separation. Right now in this country, Margaret, we have 320,000 children that the Department of Homeland Security has effectively lost.
Nope. That's a lie. That is a blatant lie. Hey, Walls, you're going to have to just tell this motherfucker he's a liar already.
Some of them have been sex trafficked. Some
That's a lie.
of them, hopefully, are at homes with their families.
So,
Some of them,
you heard what he said? You heard what he said? 320,000 kids have been lost. Hopefully some of them are home with their mother. Did you lose them or not? Huh? Did you lose them or not?
have been used as drug trafficking mules. The real family separation policy in this country is unfortunately Kamala Harris's wide open southern border. And I'd ask
This is nonsense. This whole diatribe has been complete nonsense.
my fellow Americans to remember, when she came into office, she said she was going to do this. Real leadership would be saying, you know what, I screwed up. We're going to go back to...
Nope. We're fine. We're fine. We're fine. Communities are getting revitalized because of these people. Yeah.
Trump's border policies.
Hey, it's not our fault your dumbass crackers don't want to work. Yeah, that's right. That's right. All those hillbillies want to do is sit around and wait for it to be the third so they can leech off of me. Yeah, you bitch.
That she would do that. It would be good for all of us.
Governor, do you care to respond to any of the specific allegations, including that the vice president is, quote, letting in fentanyl and using kids as drug mules, among other things?
Yeah.
That's not true. That is a complete lie.
Children.
The drug mule is not true, but I will say about
Bro, speak up. It's not true. Say it's a lie.
fentanyl, because this is a crisis of this, the opioid crisis. And the good news on this is the last 12 months saw the largest decrease in opioid deaths in our nation's
That's right. That's right.
history. 30% decrease in Ohio, but there's still more work to do. But let's go back to this on immigration. Kamala Harris was the Attorney General of the largest state, a border state in California. She's the only person in this race who prosecuted transnational gangs for human trafficking and drug intervention.
She's the only person that prosecuted. Stinky's the only person that been prosecuted.
But look, we all want to solve this. Most of us want to solve this, and that is the United States Congress. That's the Border Patrol agents. That's the Chamber of Commerce. That's most Americans.
Right, and they didn't want to pass a border bill. Yeah.
That's why we had the fairest and the toughest bill
Get after him now. Sick him.
on immigration that this nation's seen. It was crafted by a conservative senator from Oklahoma, James Lankford. I know him. He's super conservative, but he's a man of principle, wants to get it done. Democrats and Republicans worked on this piece of legislation. The Border Patrol said, this is what we need in here. These are the experts. And the Chamber of Commerce and the Wall Street Journal said, pass this thing. Kamala Harris helped get there. 1,500 new border agents.
Yep. And they killed it. Stinky and his hag killed it because they thought that this would be some kind of wedge issue. Like I said, I told these guys that work out at my place, right? That, oh my God, they're talking about, oh, all this crime. I threw the doors wide open and I said, where? Show me. I go, man, y'all are scared of your own shadow with all your muscles and shit.
Detection for drugs. DOJ money to speed up these the adjudications on this, just what America wants. But as soon as I was getting ready to pass and actually tackle this, Donald Trump said no, told them to vote
Bingo. Man, you got to harp on this one, brother.
against it because it gives him a campaign issue. It gives him what would Donald
They agreed, Scott, they agreed not to fact check this, which is total authoritarian nonsense, man. You know, because all this hag does is lie. This drag queen, you know, and I don't want to say that about drag queens. I know a couple drag queens. They're cool people. No, this is a hateful prick, is what he is.
Trump talk about if we actually did some of these things? And they need to be done by the legislature. You can't just do this
That's right.
through the executive
No,
branch.
Stinky thinks he could, with a stroke of a pen, he could fix all our ills. He's a prick. He's a prick. We saw 4 years of that. All we ended up with after 4 years of him was infected, smoldering, and broke. That after when Stinky was on the way out, we were infected with COVID. January 6th left us smoldering, and we were $8 trillion in the hole. Facts, facts, and facts. Okay? Yeah.
So look, we have the options to do this. Donald Trump had 4 years. He had 4 years to do this. And he promised you, America, how easy it would be. I'll build you a big, beautiful wall, and Mexico will pay for it.
And then he came up with 28,000 soldiers. What you talking about, man? What are you talking about? Mexico told him to go fuck himself.
Less than 2% of that wall got built, and Mexico didn't pay a dime. But here we are again, 9 years after he came down that escalator, dehumanizing people and telling them what he was going to do. As far as the deportation plan, at one point, Senator Vance said it was so unworkable to be laughable. So that's where we're at. Pass the bill, she'll sign it.
Governor,
Yep. What say you, wicked witch of the West?
time is up. Senator, the question was, will you separate parents from their children, even if their kids are U.S. citizens? You have 1 minute.
Margaret, my point is that we already
No. Margaret, you must hold his feet to the fire. And of course that would separate kids from their mother and father. Of course that would. Of course that would. Because this idiot doesn't give a shit about anybody but himself.
child separations thanks to Kamala Harris's open border.
Nope. You're a liar.
I didn't accuse Kamala Harris of inviting drug mules. I said that she enabled the Mexican drug cartels to operate freely in this country, and we know that they use children as drug mules.
Nope, that's a lie.
And it is a disgrace.
Nope, that's a lie.
And it has to stop.
Nope, that's a lie.
Look, I think what Tim said just doesn't pass the smell test.
What are you talking about? What he doesn't pass the smell test? Neither does Stinky. Have you gotten next to his diaper, the one that draws flies?
For 3 years, Kamala Harris went out bragging that she was going to undo Donald Trump's border policy. She did exactly that. We had a record number of illegal crossings. We had a
This is nonsense. This is nonsense.
record number of fentanyl coming into our country.
Nope, that's a lie.
And now that she's running for president, or a few months before, she says that somehow she got religion and cared a lot about a piece of legislation. The only thing that she did when she became the vice president, when she became the appointed border czar, was to undo
Nope.
94 Donald Trump executive actions that opened
Stupid shit is what it was.
the border. This problem is leading to massive problems in the United
No, it's not. Nope. No, it's not. That's a lie.
States of America. Parents who can't afford health care, schools that are overwhelmed. It's got
Bullshit.
to stop, and it will
Bullshit.
when Donald Trump is president.
No.
Your time is up. Governor, what about our CBS News polling, which does show that a majority of Americans, more than 50%, support mass deportations?
No, that's a lie.
Look, we fix this issue with a bill that is necessary, but the issue on this is what happens when you don't want to solve it. You demonize it. And we saw this, and Senator Vance, and it surprises me on this, talking about and saying, I will create stories to bring attention to this. That vilified a large number of people who were here legally in the community of Springfield. The Republican governor said, it's not true, don't do it. There's consequences for this. There's consequences. We could come together. Senator Langford did it. We could come together and solve this if we didn't let Donald Trump continue to make it an issue. And the consequences in Springfield were the governor had to send state law enforcement to escort kindergartners to school. I believe Senator Vance
because the hag is a fucking liar. That's why.
wants to solve this, but by standing with Donald Trump and not working...
No, he's a bitch. He's a bitch. He's an eyeliner wearing bitch is what he is. And a fucking liar too.
together to find a solution, it becomes a talking point. And when it becomes a talking point like this, we dehumanize and villainize other human beings.
What?
Governor, your time is up.
What,
I'll
you
give
fucking
one
liar?
minute, but let me just
ask you the question first.
Yeah.
The governor has made the point, and I think as a sitting lawmaker, you know that Congress controls the purse string.
No. What you have to ask him is, why did you lie about your stupid shit about the cats and dogs causing a problem for those people in that town?
And any funding. So you have said repeatedly that Donald Trump would, through
They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats.
executive action, solve this. Do you disagree that Congress controls the purse strings and would need to support many of the changes that you would actually want to implement? You have 1 minute.
Look, Margaret, first of all, the gross majority of what we need to do at the southern border is just empowering law enforcement to do their job. I've been to
Yeah.
the southern border more than our borders.
Empowering them. Hey, we had a border bill that you refused to bring to the floor that had 1,500 more agents. But no.
Or Kamala Harris has been, and it's actually heartbreaking because the Border Patrol agents, they just want to be empowered to do their job. Of course, additional resources would help, but most of this is about the president and the vice president empowering our law enforcement.
What are you talking about? What, to go shoot him in the legs? You prick?
To say, if you try to come across the border illegally, you've got
Yeah, we're gonna shoot you. What, are you crazy?
to stay in Mexico, you've got to go back through proper channels. Now, Governor Walz
This is not a crisis. It's not a crisis.
brought up the community of Springfield, and
Answer the question.
he's very worried about the things that I've said in Springfield.
Yeah, no. You're a liar. You're a liar, and you caused havoc over there with your goddamn Nazis. That's right.
In Springfield, Ohio, and in communities all across this country, you've got schools that are overwhelmed. You've
Nope. No, you don't.
got hospitals that are overwhelmed.
Nope. No, you don't.
You've got housing that is totally unaffordable.
Bullshit. Those people are taking what was left behind by these idiot junkie crackers and they're making it work. That's what's going on. There's no crisis here. There is a crisis. We don't have enough people. That's right.
Because we brought in millions of illegal immigrants to
Bullshit.
compete with Americans for scarce homes. The
Bullshit.
people that I'm most worried about in Springfield, Ohio, are the American citizens
Bullshit.
who have had their lives destroyed by Kamala
Nope. Bullshit.
Harris's open border. It is a
That's bullshit.
disgrace, Tim. And I actually think, I agree with you. I think you want to solve this problem, but I don't think that Kamala Harris does.
Senator, your time is up. Governor, you have 1 minute to
You
respond.
see the way he goes. You see the way he gets. He goes like that, and he goes into this mode, just trying to convince himself of this fucking lie that he just told. Yeah. That's what.
Well, it is law enforcement that asked for the bill. They helped craft it. They're the ones that supported it. That's because they know we need to do this. Look, this issue of continuing to bring this up, of not dealing with it, of blaming migrants for everything. On housing, we could talk a little bit about Wall Street speculators buying up housing and making them less affordable, but it becomes a blame. Look, this bill also gives the money necessary to adjudicate. I agree. It should not take 7 years for an asylum claim to be done. This bill gets it done in 90 days. Then you start to make a difference in this, and you start to adhere to what we know, American principles. Look, I don't talk about my faith a lot, but Matthew 25:40 talks about, to the least amongst us you do unto me. I think that's true.
They don't
of most
believe.
Americans.
They act like they Bible thump. They don't believe in none of that shit, Coach. They don't believe in none of that.
They simply want order to it. This bill does it. It's funded. It's supported by the people who do it. And it lets us keep our dignity about how we treat other people.
God, what a decent man. What a decent man. It would be a shame if this guy doesn't get a shot to be our vice president. It would be a shame. This is a prick right here. You son of a bitch, hag you.
Thank you, Governor. And just to clarify for our viewers, Springfield, Ohio does have a large number of Haitian migrants who have legal status, temporary protected status. Nora?
but
Thank you, Senator. We have so much to get to.
Margaret, I think it's important because
Shut up.
the rules were that you guys were going to fact check, and since you're
Yeah, fact check. They're not eating the cats and the dogs, you prick. They're not eating the cats and the dogs, and what you caused was a massive problem, okay?
checking me. I think it's important to say what's actually going on.
No, there's not. They're not eating the cats and the dogs. You liar. You said you had people calling you that they were eating the cats and the dogs. You race baiter. You goddamn liar.
So there's an application called the CBP app, where you can go on as an illegal migrant, apply for asylum or apply for parole, and be granted legal status at the wave of a Kamala Harris open border. That is not a person coming. And applying for a green card and waiting for 10 years. That
Thank
is
you,
the
Senator.
facilitation of.
Shut. Yeah, he's spewing fake news on your airways.
Immigration, Margaret. By
Thank you,
our own
Senator, for
leadership.
describing the legal
And
process.
Kamala-
We have so much to get
Opened up
to,
that
Senator.
pathway.
We
Those
have
laws
so
have been on
much.
the books since 1990.
When did it become an app?
Gentlemen,
The
we
CBP
want to have.
app has not been on the books since 1990. It's something that Kamala Harris created, Margaret.
Gentlemen, the audience can't
They capped his mic.
hear you because your mics are cut. We have so much we want to get to. Thank you for explaining the legal process. Nora?
Thank you, Margaret. The economy is a top concern for voters. Each of your campaigns has released an
Damn, Nora has some nice eyes too.
economic plan, so let's talk about the specifics. Governor Walz, Vice President Harris unveiled a plan that includes billions in tax credits for manufacturing, housing, and a renewed child tax credit. The Wharton School says your proposals will increase the nation's deficit by $1.2 trillion. How would you pay for that without ballooning the deficit? Governor, I'll give you 2 minutes.
Raise the corporate tax rate. That's easy. That's easy. Raise it and tax these deadbeat millionaires and billionaires. That's all. That's not hard. This is not hard.
Yeah, thank you. And Kamala Harris and I do believe in the middle class because that's where we come from.
Yeah. She literally just said that she wants to give a break to all of us by taxing the people that have made their money off of our backs. Okay? All right? Yep, there you go. Bullshit.
We both grew up in that. We understand. So those of you out there listening tonight, you're hearing a lot of stuff back and forth, and it's good. It's healthy. That's what this is supposed to happen. You should be listening. How's this going to impact me? The bold forward plan that Kamala Harris put out there is talking about this housing issue. The one thing is there's 3 million new houses proposed under this plan with down payment assistance on the front end to get you a house. A house is much more than just an asset to be traded somewhere. It's foundational to where you're at. And then making sure that the things you buy every day, whether they be prescription drugs or other things, that there's fairness in that. Look, the $35 insulin is a good thing, but it costs $5 to make insulin. They were charging $800 before this law went into effect. As far as the housing goes, I've seen it in Minnesota. 12% more houses in Minneapolis, prices went down on rent 4%. It's working. And then making sure tax cuts go to the middle class. $6,000 child tax credit, we have one in Minnesota, reduces childhood poverty by 1/3. We save money in the long run, and we do the right thing for families. And then getting businesses off the ground. The law as it stands right now is $5,000 tax credit for small business, increasing that to $50,000. Now, this is a philosophical difference between us. Donald Trump made a promise, and I'll give you this. He kept it. He took folks from Mar-a-Lago, said, you're rich as hell, I'm going to give you a tax cut. He gave the tax cuts that predominantly went to the top class. What happened there was an $8 trillion increase in the national debt, the largest ever. Now he's proposing a 20% consumption or sales tax on everything we bring in. Everyone agrees, including businesses, it would be destabilizing it, it would increase inflation and potentially lead to a recession. Look, this is simple for you. Where are we going? Kamala Harris has said to do the things she wants to do, we'll just ask the wealthiest to pay their fair share. When you do that, our system works best, more people are participating in it, and folks have the things that they need.
Senator, I want to give you a moment to respond on that. But similarly, the Wharton School has done an analysis of the Trump plan and says it would increase the nation's deficit by $5.8 trillion. My question is the same for you. How do you pay for all that without ballooning the deficit? I'll give you 2 minutes.
Well, first of all, you're going to hear a lot from Tim Walz this evening, and you just heard it in the answer. A lot of what Kamala Harris proposes to do, and some of it, I'll be honest with you, it even sounds pretty good. Here's what you won't hear, is that Kamala Harris has already done it. Because she's been the vice president for 3.5 years, she had the opportunity to enact all of these great policies, and what she's actually done instead is drive the cost of food higher by 25%, drive the cost of housing higher by about 60%.
Nope.
Open the American southern border and make middle-class life unaffordable for a large number of Americans. If Kamala Harris has such great plans for how to address middle-class problems, then she ought to do...
This has been all fixing Stinky's mess. That's what this has been.
Them now, not when asking for promotion, but in the job the American people gave her 3.5 years ago. And the fact that she isn't tells you a lot about...
Wait, he still hasn't answered the question. The Wharton School said that Stinky's proposal is going to raise the debt by 5-point-something trillion dollars. Answer the question. They're fucking nonsense.
How much you can trust her actual plans. Now, Donald Trump's economic plan is not just a plan, but it's also...
It's not a plan. What's the plan?
Those same economists
What's the plan?
attack Donald Trump's plans, and they have PhDs, but they don't have common sense.
Oh, yeah, no. Okay. Yeah. So, an economics major, right, is not as smart as Donald Trump? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? That is a functionally illiterate imbecile, okay? A mouth breather, a drooler.
And they don't have wisdom, because Donald
Wisdom? What wisdom? What wisdom? This idiot has bankrupted everything. Everything he's touching. Everything he's touched. Everything he's touched.
economic policies to deliver to the highest take-home pay in a generation in this country.
Yeah, what? Yeah, what? How? Again. Answer the question.
1.5% inflation, and to boot, peace and security.
Nobody was buying anything. Everybody was stuck in their house. Miserable. Okay? Yep.
Security all over the world. So when people say that Donald Trump's economic plan doesn't make sense, I say
it doesn't. It doesn't. He still think if you tariff somebody that it brings in money.
Look at the record. He delivered rising hand.
What did he deliver?
Don't pay for American workers.
Nope.
Now, Tim.
No, he didn't. That's a lie.
Admits that they want to undo the Trump tax cuts. But if you look at what was so different about Donald Trump's tax cuts, even from previous Republican tax cut plans, is that a lot of those resources went to giving more take-home pay.
Nope. That's a lie. That is a lie.
Class and working class Americans.
Bullshit. That's a blatant lie.
It was passed in 2017, and you saw an American economic boom.
Bullshit, an American economic boom. What are you talking about? What economic boom? You dumb shit.
Unlike we've seen in a generation in this country. That is a record that I'm proud to run on, and we're getting... Really? Losing 2 million jobs and $8.4 trillion added to the debt. You want to run on that record? Really? You want to run on bankruptcy, right? Back to that common sense wisdom so that you can afford to live the American dream again. I know.
Hey, you're flaming. Slow down, honey. Your feathers are coming out.
A lot of you are struggling. I know a lot of you are worried about paying the bills. It's going to stop when Donald Trump brings back common sense to this country.
Governor, do you want to respond?
He's a moron.
To that, what has Kamala Harris done for the middle class?
Yeah, well, Kamala Harris's day one was Donald Trump's failure on COVID that led to the collapse of our economy. We were already before COVID in a manufacturing recession, but 10 million people out of work, largest percentage since the Great Depression.
Oh, yeah, you want to run on that record, honey?
9 million jobs closed on that. That was day one. Whether it was the Infrastructure Act or other things removed. Now, you made a question about experts said this. I've made a note of this. Economists can't be trusted. Science can't be trusted. National security folks can't be trusted. Look, if you're going to be president, you don't have all the answers. Donald Trump believes he does. My pro tip of the day is this.
He's a moron, is what he is.
If you need heart surgery, listen to the people at the Mayo Clinic in Rochester, Minnesota, not Donald Trump. And the same thing goes with this. And I ask you out there, teachers, nurses, truck drivers, whatever, how is it fair that you're paying your taxes every year and Donald Trump hasn't paid any federal tax in the last 15 years?
Oh!
Last year as president. That's what's wrong with the system. There's a way around it, and he's bragged about that. We're just asking for fairness
He's a deadbeat. He's a deadbeat.
in it, and that's all you want.
You have a
You
minute.
know, Governor, you say trust the experts.
Yeah,
Those
yeah,
same
yeah.
experts for 40 years said that if we shipped our manufacturing base off to China,
Hey, that's what happened when he was the president. That's what happened when he was the president. Look at that carrier plane he went to. they bailed to Mexico.
cheaper goods. They lied about that. They said if we shipped our industrial base off to other countries, to Mexico and elsewhere, it would make the middle class stronger.
Nobody said that. Nobody said that. This dude's a liar, is what he is. He's a fucking liar.
Were wrong about that. They were wrong about the idea that if we made America less self-reliant, less productive in our own nation, it would
Less self. What are you talking about?
somehow make us better off, and they were wrong about it.
Yeah, no. He's saying that Biden and Harris said that demanded to move jobs offshore. Are you listening to this? Is this hag high? You're doing bong hits out of the bottom of your stiletto.
The first time in a generation, Donald Trump had the wisdom and the courage to say to that
Wisdom and courage. What are you talking about? That's a punk and a pussy.
bipartisan consensus, we're not doing it anymore. We're bringing American manufacturing back. We're
Yeah, right. The Chips and Science Act is what's bringing that back. Yeah,
unleashing American energy. We're going to make more of our own stuff. And this isn't just an economic issue. I mean, I've got 3 beautiful little kids at home, 7, 4, and 2. And
You don't give a shit about them. Those are props. Those are props because eventually you're going to marry Herbert over at the flower shop. I know that. Come to the light. Come to the light. Come to the light. Come to the light.
them very much, and I hope they're in bed right now. But look, so many of the drugs, the pharmaceuticals that we put in the bodies of our children are manufactured by nations that hate us. This
What?
has to stop, and we're not going to stop it by listening to experts. We're going to stop it by listening to common sense wisdom.
Oh, yeah. We're going to stop by listening to Stinky, the slack-jawed mouth breather that thinks that TiVo is still a thing, right?
Which is what Donald Trump governed on.
Senator, your time is up. Governor Walz, can you address that? I mean, voters say they trust Donald Trump on the economy.
What?
Why?
If you're listening tonight and you want billionaires to get tax cuts, you heard what the numbers were. Look, I'm a union guy on this. I'm not a guy who wanted to ship things overseas, but I understand that, look, we produce soybeans and corn. We need to have fair trading partners. That's something that we believe in. I think the thing that most concerns me on this is Donald Trump was the guy who created the largest trade deficit in American history with China. So the rhetoric is good. Much of what the senator said right there, I'm in agreement with him on this. I watched it happen too. I watched it to my communities, and we talked about that. But we had people undercutting the right to collectively bargain. We had right to work states made it more difficult. We had companies that were willing to ship it over, and we saw people profit. Folks that are venture capital in some cases, putting money into companies that were overseas. We're in agreement that we bring those home. The issue is Donald Trump is talking about it. Kamala Harris has a record, 250,000 more manufacturing jobs just in out of the IRA.
May I respond to that?
Yes.
So I appreciate that. So if you notice, what Governor Walz just did is he said, first of all, Donald Trump has to listen to the experts. And then when he acknowledged that the experts screwed up, he said, well, Donald Trump didn't do nearly as good of a job as the
No, that's a gross
that he
generalization.
did. So what Tim Walz is doing, and I honestly, Tim, I think you got a tough job here because you've got to play whack-a-mole. You've got to pretend that Donald Trump didn't deliver rising take-home pay, which of course he did. You've got to pretend that Donald Trump didn't
No, he didn't. No, he didn't. That's a lie. That's a lie. That's a lie. This guy's just got to start calling them on it.
deliver lower inflation, which of course he did.
Nope. That was deflation. Nobody was buying anything. He broke the goddamn supply chains. Yeah, he broke the supply chains. We were wiping our ass with our fingers for a year.
And then you simultaneously got to defend Kamala Harris's atrocious economic record.
What are you talking about? What are you talking about? We're transitioning over to electric cars now because of her and Biden.
Which has made gas, groceries, and housing unaffordable.
Nope, and nope.
For American citizens. I was raised by a woman who would sometimes go into medical debt.
Yeah, you know, he's talking all this shit. Yeah, you're raised by a woman that was a fucking junkie that stole her patient's pain meds. You son of a bitch. Yeah. Your mother was a bitch.
Food on the table in our household. I know what it's like to not be able to afford the things that you need to afford.
Well, maybe if your mother wasn't always ripped on Xanax, you know, maybe she could have done something for you, and you wouldn't have been such a woman hater. Oh, wait. You are you're a man with a woman inside of you.
Do so much better. To all of you watching, we can get back to an America that's affordable again. We just got to get back to common sense economic principles.
What are you talking about? What are you talking about? She just said that your economic plan was going to blow a $6 trillion hole in the debt.
Hope we have a conversation on healthcare then.
Senator, Governor.
Please.
Thank you, Margaret.
We have a lot to get to ahead, gentlemen, on many topics, but right now I want to talk about personal qualifications. The vice president is often the last voice the president hears before making consequential decisions. We want to ask you about your leadership qualities. Governor Walz, you said you were in Hong Kong during the deadly Tiananmen Square protests in the spring of 1989. But Minnesota Public Radio and other media outlets are reporting that you actually didn't travel to Asia until August of that year. Can you explain that discrepancy?
Who gives a shit? Who gives a shit? What is this all about? Who gives a shit?
Yeah, well, and to the folks out there, I did get at the top of this. Look, I grew up in small rural Nebraska, town of 400, town that you rode your bike with your buddies till the streetlights come on, and I'm proud of that service. I joined the National Guard at 17. Worked on family farms, and then I used the GI Bill to become a teacher, passionate about it, a young teacher. My first year out, I got the opportunity in the summer of '89 to travel to China. 35 years ago, be able to do that. I came back home and then started a program to take young people there. We would take basketball teams, we would take baseball teams, we would take dancers, and we would go back and forth to China. The issue for that was to try and learn. Now look, my community knows who I am. They saw where I was at. Look, I will be the first to tell you, I have poured my heart into my community. I've tried to do the best I can, but I've not been perfect. And I'm a knucklehead at times, but it's always been about that. Those same people elected me to Congress for 12 years. And in Congress, I was one of the most bipartisan people, working on things like farm bills that we got done, working on veterans benefits. And then the people of Minnesota were able to elect me to governor twice. So look, my commitment has been from the beginning to make sure that I'm there for the people, to make sure that I get this right.
This and no one gives a shit whether he was at Tiananmen Square. Hey, look, he might have got run over by a tank.
I will say more than anything. Many times I will talk a lot. I will get caught up in the rhetoric. But being there, the impact it made, the difference it made in my life, I learned a lot about China. I hear the critiques of this. I would make the case that Donald Trump should have come on one of those trips with us.
Are you kidding?
I guarantee you he wouldn't be praising Xi Jinping about COVID, and I guarantee you he wouldn't start a trade war that he ends up losing. So this is about trying to understand the world. It's about trying to do the best you can for your community, and then it's putting yourself out there and letting your folks understand what...
Wait a minute. I'm still stunned by the fact that that lady said that people trust Trump more with the economy than Harris. He has bankrupted everything in his life. He owes the state of New York $500 million. Are you kidding me?
But it is. My commitment, whether it be through teaching, which I was good at, or whether it was being a good soldier or was being a good member of Congress, those are the things that I think are the values that people care about.
Governor, just to follow up on that, the question was, can you explain the...
Wait. So this guy doesn't answer any questions, right? And you just let him lie, and he never answers your question.
What I said on this was I got there that summer and misspoke on this. So I will just, that's what I've said.
Yeah, period. That's it. End of story. Sorry, wasn't there.
So I was in Hong Kong and China during the democracy protests went in. And from that, I learned a lot of what needed to be in.
That's it. You don't got to say anymore. That's it.
Thank you, Governor. Senator Vance, in 2016, you called your running mate Donald Trump unfit for the nation's highest office, and you said he could be America's Hitler. I know
He is.
you said, you've been asked many times, and you've said you regret those comments and explained you then voted for Donald Trump in 2020. But the Washington Post reported new messages last week in which you also disparaged Trump's economic record while he was president, writing to someone in 2020, quote, Trump thoroughly failed to deliver his economic populism. You're now his running mate, and you've shifted many of your policy stances to align with his.
He's an opportunist. He's a goddamn bootlicker. And you know what? He's hoping that Stinky dies so he can be the president. So she can be the president. Not she, right there. She can be the president.
If you become vice president, why should Americans trust that you will give Donald Trump the advice he needs to hear?
He ain't gonna listen to you anyway. Ask Mike Pence.
And not just the advice he wants to hear. You have 2 minutes.
Well, first of all, Margaret, because I've always been open. And sometimes, of course,
Oh, yes, you have. You've always been open. Down there on South Beach. Oh, boy.
disagreed with the president, but I've also been extremely open about the fact that I was wrong about Donald Trump.
No. What, from last week?
I was wrong, first of all, because I believed some of the media stories that turned out to be dishonest.
No. Yes, he's struggling with this one.
His record, but most importantly, Donald Trump delivered for the American people.
No, he didn't. What did he deliver? COVID. January 6th. He stole our documents. He trashed this place. Riots in the streets. They gassed the priest. Remember that one? Yeah,
Rising wages, rising take-home pay.
No and no.
An economy that worked for normal Americans.
No, it didn't. We were stuck in our house, wiping our asses with our fingers. And man, people don't talk about this. I remember went into Walmart. There was no baby formula either. That was crazy. They didn't have any baby formula.
A secure southern border, a lot of things, frankly, that I didn't think he'd be able to deliver on. And yeah, when you screw up, when you misspeak, when you get something wrong.
Bro, that motherfucker hasn't gotten one right since his old man died.
And you change your mind, you ought to be honest with the American people about it. It's one of the reasons.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's you work for a fucking liar.
Why I've done so many interviews is because I think it's important to actually explain to the American people where I come down on the issues and what changed. Now,
you're a fucking liar is what you are.
You pointed out the messages from 2020. Margaret, I've been extremely consistent that I think they were...
What? Look. Margaret, I've been extremely consistent. This is a tortured soul, is what this is. This is a tortured soul. He can't face the fact that again, disclaimer. I have no problem whatsoever with gay people, right? As a matter of fact, I have a whole community that I'm dear friends with, all right? Yeah, now, this guy can't accept that he's miserable because he's attracted to other men. Bro, you don't have to be miserable. You don't have to be miserable. Look at his resting face. Look at that. See that? See that? This is a miserable, tortured soul that he has a wife and kids as a prop. As a prop. Because he can't be like men that aren't gay, right? And be attracted to women. That's his whole problem. This is a closeted, tortured soul right here. It's whatever. Continue. To each his own. That's my philosophy. I don't know what's right for you, and you don't know what's right for me. Continue.
A lot of things that we could have done better in the Trump administration the first round
That was a joke.
if Congress was doing its job.
Bullshit. You had the House, the Senate, and the House and the presidency, and you didn't get jack shit done.
I strongly believe, and I've been a United States senator, that Congress
You've been in this gig for 2 years. The hell do you know?
is not just a high-class debating society. It's not just a
It's not just a high-class debating society.
forum for senators and congressmen to whine about problems. It's a forum
That's all you do. That's all the Republican Party does, or whatever's left of them.
to govern. So
I still haven't heard a detailed policy, other than its common sense, economics, or whatever, that's going to help us from this guy. Not one.
there were a lot of things on the border, on tariffs, for example, where I think that we could have done so much more if the Republican Congress and the Democrats in Congress had been a little bit better about how they govern the country.
What? Again. He had a supermajority and did nothing with it. Okay? Yeah.
They were so obsessed with impeaching Donald Trump, they couldn't actually govern. And I want to talk about this tariff issue in particular.
What are you talking about? Again. You had a supermajority. What happened? Nothing.
Margaret, because Tim just accused this of being a national sales tax. Look,
Yeah, what do you mean accuse it? That's what it is. Read your own Project 2025, you imbecile.
one thing, and you're probably surprised to hear me praising Joe Biden, but the one thing that Joe Biden did is he continued some of the Trump tariffs that protected.
No. He had to gut those things. He had to gut them and fix them. Yeah.
American manufacturing job. And it's the one issue, the most pro-worker part of the Biden administration, it's the one issue.
Bullshit. Every one of his policies are pro-worker, you dumb shit.
Where Kamala Harris has run away from Joe Biden's record. Think
Nope.
about this. If you're trying
Nope.
to employ slave laborers in China at $3 a day, you're going to do that and undercut the wages of American workers unless
What does that have to do with the American worker?
our country stands up for itself and says, you're not accessing our markets unless you're paying middle-class Americans a fair wage.
What? What does that even mean? You're not accessing our markets unless they pay Americans a fair wage? What does that even mean? Not even you believes this. Not even you. That was a word salad.
Senator, your time is up. Nora?
Thank you. Now to the issue of reproductive rights. Governor Walz, after Roe versus Wade was overturned, you signed a bill into law that made Minnesota one of the least restrictive states in the nation when it comes to abortion. Former President Trump said in the last debate that you believe abortion, quote, in the 9th month is absolutely fine. Yes or no? Is that what you support? I'll give you 2 minutes.
What a stupid question. Are you kidding? Who came up with this one, Nora?
Not what the bill says, but look, this issue is what's on everyone's mind. Donald Trump put this all into motion. He brags about how great it was that he put the judges in and overturned Roe versus Wade, 52 years of personal autonomy. And then he tells us, we send it to the states. It's a beautiful thing. Amanda Zaworski would disagree with you on it's a beautiful thing.
By the way, if you go and watch that Anthony Davis, that two-part special with the biologists and the psychiatric people and all that shit, right? A lady put it really close, really. She was real concise about it. You know, it's that's what a dictator does. A dictator tells you what you can do with your own body. Okay, dictatorship was here with that asshole. Continue.
A young bride in Texas waiting for their child at 18 weeks. She has a complication, a tear in the membrane. She needs to go in. The medical care at that point needs to be decided by the doctor. And that would have been an abortion. But in Texas, that would have put them in legal jeopardy. She went home, got sepsis, nearly dies, and now she may have difficulty having children. Or in Kentucky, Hadley Duval, a 12-year-old child raped and impregnated by her stepfather. Those are horrific. Now, when God asked about that, Senator Vance said, two wrongs don't make a right. There is no
Good Lord.
in this. So in Minnesota, what we did was restore Roe versus Wade. We made sure that we put women in charge of their health care. But look, this is not where, if you don't know Amanda or a Hadley, you soon will. Their Project 2025 is going to have a registry of pregnancies.
Good
It's going to
Lord.
get more difficult,
Did you hear that? That's some savage shit right there.
if not impossible, to get contraception and limit access, if not eliminate access to infertility treatments. For so many of you out there listening, me included, infertility treatments are why I have a child. That's nobody else's business.
Bingo. Bingo.
But those things are being proposed. And the catch-all on this is, well, the states will decide what's right for Texas might not be right for Washington. That's not how this works. This is based
That turns women into second-class citizens because now they have to pick and choose where they can live. God forbid they should have an emergency. Yeah. Nope.
human right. We have seen maternal mortality skyrocket in Texas, outpacing many other countries in the world. This is about
Wow. That's awful.
healthcare. In Minnesota, we are ranked first in healthcare for a reason. We trust women, we trust doctors.
Senator, do you want to respond to the governor's claim? Will you create a federal pregnancy monitoring agency?
No, Nora, certainly we won't. And I want to talk about this issue because I know a lot of Americans care about it.
Hey, it's in Project 2025. That's a lie. That's a lie. That is a lie.
A lot of Americans don't agree with everything that I've ever said on this topic. And, you know,
Hey. Don't walk away from it. Don't walk away from it.
I grew up in a working class family in a neighborhood.
Yeah, with a junkie as a mother. Yeah, Continue. We know that already.
Young women who had unplanned pregnancies and decided to terminate those pregnancies because they feel like they didn't have any other options. And, you know, I one of them is actually very dear to me. And I know she's watching tonight, and I love you. And she told me something a couple years ago that she felt
Who's that? Who's that?
like if she hadn't had that abortion, that it would have just
Answer the question. Answer the question.
destroyed her life because she was in an abusive relationship. I think that what I take from that as a Republican who proudly wants to protect innocent life in this country, who proudly wants to protect the vulnerable, is that my party, we've got to do so much better of a job at
Yeah, right.
earning the American people's trust back on this issue where they frankly just don't.
Hey, you shouldn't have overturned Roe v. Wade. Okay? You prick. You woman-hating bitch.
Trust us. And I think that's one of the things that Donald Trump and I are endeavoring to do.
Bullshit. Answer the question.
I want us as a Republican Party to be pro-family in the fullest sense of the word. I want us to support fertility treatments. I want us to make it easier for moms to afford to have babies.
No, you don't. No, you don't. That's a lie. No, you know, with this subject, right? All he can do is lie. All he can do is lie because they are anti anything that has to do with a medical procedure by a woman. That's the truth.
I want it to make it easier for young families to afford a home so they can afford a place
What does that have to do with abortion?
to raise that family. And I think there's so much that we
What does that have to do with abortion?
can do on the public.
See, here's their problem, right? Here's their problem. They are womb warriors and then post-womb deadbeats, right? Because, okay, yeah, the fetus, we gotta have the fetus, right? And then when the fetus gets here, I'm not gonna pay for him, you pay for him. You're a deadbeat, pay for your own kid. See how that works? They're hypocrites. Yeah, huh?
Policy front just to give women more options. Now, of course, Donald Trump has been.
Hey, bro, hey. So because you say so, they have to bring a kid to term? A kid that was a product of rape, a product of incest from their goddamn uncle? The hell is wrong with you?
Very clear that on the abortion policy.
He hates women. This guy hates women. And he's one. Inside, he's a woman. Yeah. And he hates the fact that that's the way he has turned out. Yeah.
Specifically, that we have a big country and it's diverse, and California has a different viewpoint on this than Georgia. Georgia has a different viewpoint from Arizona, and the proper way to handle this, as messy as democracy sometimes is to let voters make these decisions, let the individual state.
No. Let voters make a decision, right? On an individual's body. What are you, high?
To make their abortion policy, and I think that's what makes the most sense in a very big, a very diverse, and let's be honest, sometimes a very, very messy and divided country.
Governor, would you like to respond and also answer the question about restrictions?
Yeah, well, the question you got asked, and Donald Trump made the accusation that wasn't true about Minnesota. Well, let me tell you about this idea that they're diverse states. There's a young woman named Amber Thurman. She happened to be in Georgia, a restrictive state. Because of that, she had to travel a long distance to North Carolina to try and get her care. Amber Thurman died in that journey back and forth. The fact of the matter is, how
These pricks have blood on their hands.
can we as a nation say that your life and your rights, as basic as the right to control your own body, is determined on geography? There's a very real chance had Amber Thurman lived in Minnesota, she would be alive today. That's why the restoration of Roe versus Wade. When you listen to Vice President Harris talk about this subject and you hear me talk about it, you hear us talking exactly the same. Donald Trump is trying to figure out how to get the political right of this. I agree with a lot of what Senator Vance said about what's happening. His running mate, though, does not, and that's the problem.
Governor, your time is up. Senator, let me ask you about that. He mentioned, it was, I think, referring to a national ban. In the past, you have supported a federal ban
God, her eyes are so blue.
on abortion after 15 weeks. In fact, you said if someone can't support legislation like that, quote, you are making the United States the most barbaric pro-abortion regime anywhere in the entire world.
Bingo.
My question is, why have you changed your position?
Well, Nora, first of all, I never supported a national ban.
Yeah, you did, you hag.
I did during when I was running for Senate in 2022.
You did when you were running for Senate in 2022. You did or you didn't, you flip-flopping opportunist, you.
We talk about setting some minimum national standard. For example, we have a partial birth abortion ban in place in this country at the federal level. I don't think anybody's trying to get rid of that, or at least I hope not. Though I know that
You're trying to get rid of it completely.
Democrats have taken a very radical pro-abortion stance. But Nora, one of the things that changed is in the state of Ohio, we had a referendum in 2023, and the people of Ohio voted overwhelmingly, by the way, against my position. And I think that what I learned from that, Nora, is
that you're an idiot.
We've got to do a better job at winning back people's trust. So many young women.
Yeah, right.
Women would love to have families. So many young women also see an unplanned pregnancy as something that's going to destroy their livelihood, destroy their education.
So because you say, right, they should have a kid that they may not be able to have. What are you, high?
Destroy their relationships, and we have got to earn people's trust back. And
it's not going to happen.
That's why Donald Trump and I are committed to pursuing pro-family policies, making childcare more accessible.
Yeah, right. But you don't want to pay for it. Y'all don't want to pay for it. Why do I have to pay for a kid that's somebody else's?
Making fertility treatments more accessible, because we've got to do a better job at that, and that's what real leadership is.
So, in other words, have a baby because you feel like it. What are you, high?
The response.
I'm going to respond on the pro-abortion piece of that. No, we're not. We're pro-women. We're pro-freedom to make your own choice. We know what the implications are to not be that. Women having miscarriages, women not getting the care, physicians feeling like they may be prosecuted for providing that care. And as far as making sure that we're educating our children and giving them options, Minnesota's a state with one of the lowest teen pregnancy rates. We understand that too. We know that the options need to be available, and we make that true. We also make it, we're a top 3 state for the best place to raise children. But these two things to try and say that we're pro-children, but we don't like this, or you guys are pro-abortion, that's not the case at all. We are pro-freedoms for women to make their choices, and we're going, and Kamala Harris is making the case, to make options for children more affordable, a $6,000 child tax credit, but we're not going to...
A specific plan. What a concept.
Based on the backs of making someone like Amber Thurman drive 600 miles to try and get health care.
Senator?
May I respond to that? First of all, Governor, I agree with you. Amber Thurman should still be alive, and there are a lot of people who should still be alive.
But for you. But for you. But for Stinky.
I certainly wish that she was.
Yeah, no, you don't. No, you don't. You do not.
And maybe you're free to disagree with me on this and explain this to me, but as I read the Minnesota law that you signed into law, the statute that you signed into law, it says that a doctor who presides over an abortion where the baby survives, the doctor is under no obligation to provide life-saving care to a baby who survives a botched late-term abortion. That is, I think...
That's nonsense.
That's
whether
not
you're
true.
pro-choice or pro-life.
That's nonsense.
Abortion,
That's a lie.
is fundamentally barbaric. And
That's nonsense. That's a lie.
that's why I use that word, Nora, is because some of what we've seen. Do you want to force Catholic hospitals to perform abortions against their will? Because
That's nonsense. That's a lie.
Kamala Harris has supported suing Catholic nuns to violate their freedom of conscience. We can be a big and diverse country where we respect people's freedom of conscience
Bullshit.
and make the country more pro-baby and pro-family. But please.
Yes, Governor, please respond.
Look, this is one where there's always something there. This is a very simple proposition. These are women's decisions to make about their healthcare decisions, and the physician...
Period. Full stop. Period. That's it. No more. There's no debate about that.
physicians who know best when they need to do this. Trying to distort the way a law is written to try and make a point, that's not it at all.
What was I wrong about, Governor? Please tell me. What was that wrong
That is
about?
not the way the law is written. Look,
Yeah. It's not the way the law's written, you prick.
I've given this advice on a lot of things, that getting involved, getting engaged, that's been misread, and it was fact-checked at the last debate. But the point on this is there's a continuation of these guys to try and tell women or to get involved.
Exactly. They ain't nobody to tell anybody else what to do. That's a dictatorship. He ain't nobody to tell anybody else what to do.
This line on this, just mind your own business.
Yeah, that's right.
On this. Things work best when Roe versus Wade was in place. When we do a restoration of Roe, that works best. That doesn't preclude us from increasing funding for children. It doesn't increase us from making sure that once that child's born, like in Minnesota, they get meals. They get early childhood education.
Which is something that he doesn't want to do. He doesn't want to do. He wants to slash funding for kids at every turn.
They get health care. So that hiding behind we're going to do all these other things when you're not proposing them in your budget. Kamala Harris is proposing them. She's proposing all those things to make life easier for families.
I asked a specific question, Governor. You gave me a slogan as a response.
Nobody gives a shit. Who are you to ask questions?
Not the case. It's not true. That's not what the law says. So they fact-checked
Yeah, there you go. There you go, knucklehead. That's not true. It's a lie. What you said was a lie. Yeah, busted.
President Trump.
Gentlemen, there's a lot to discuss. We have to move on. We're going to be right back with much more of the CBS News vice presidential debate in just a moment.
Nora, damn it. Let's go forward. Nora!
Cause of death for children and teens in America is by firearms. Senator Vance, you oppose most gun legislation that Democrats claim would curb gun violence. You oppose red flag gun laws and legislation to ban certain semi-automatic rifles, including AR-15s. So let me ask you, earlier this year, for the first time, the parents of a school shooter were convicted of involuntary manslaughter and sentenced to 10 years in prison. You think holding parents responsible could curb mass shootings? I'll give you 2
100%.
minutes.
Yeah, well, Laura, on that particular case, I don't know the full details.
Yeah, here's the details. They let their idiot kid get a hold of a gun and he killed some people and they got arrested and they got convicted. Okay? There you go. That's the details. What else do you need to know?
I certainly trust local law enforcement and local authorities to make those
Nope. Not the question.
decisions. I think in some cases the answer is going to be yes, and in some cases the answer is going to be no.
What do you mean? What are you talking about?
And the details really matter here, of course. For example,
Yeah, those were the details. Idiot parents had a gun and their idiot kid took it because they left it out and they went and they killed some people. That's the details. And you're for that. Of course, what happened to the whole pro-life deal? You hypocrite. What happened to the whole pro-life deal?
if the kid steals a gun, that's going to be different.
No.
If a parent hands over a gun knowing that their kid is potentially dangerous.
You don't give a kid a gun in any circumstance. You dumb shit.
Look, I want to just sort of speak as a father of 3 beautiful little kids.
Okay. Who are you going to... Herbert is jealous.
And our oldest is now in 2nd grade. And like a lot of parents, we send our kids to school with such hope and such joy and such...
Yeah, and then what happens at Sandy Hook? Like Sandy Hook. Yeah. And Uvalde. Yeah. And Parkland. Yeah. You son of a bitch.
pride at their little faces on the first day of school. And we know, unfortunately, that a lot of kids are going to experience this terrible epidemic of gun violence. And of course,
Yeah, exactly.
our hearts go out to the families that are affected by this terrible stuff. And we
By this terrible stuff.
do have to do better. And I think that Governor Walz and I actually probably agree that we need to do better on this. The question is just how do we actually do it? Now, here's something that
Flood the street with more guns, right? You idiot.
really bothers me and worries me about this epidemic of violence. The gross majority, close to 90%, and some of the statistics I've seen, of the gun violence in this country is committed with illegally obtained firearms. And while we're on
Yeah, that's right.
that topic, we know that thanks to Kamala Harris's open border,
Nah. We're not going there. Nope.
we've seen a massive influx in the number of illegal guns run by the Mexican drug
Nope, they're actually going the other way. That's a lie.
cartel. So that number,
That's a lie.
the amount of illegal guns in our country is higher today than it
That's a lie.
was 3.5 years ago.
That's a lie.
But what do we do about the schools? What do we do to protect our kids? And I think the answer is,
More guns, right? More guns, you imbecile?
and I say this not loving the answer, because I don't want my kids to go to school in a school that feels
So you're going to say it anyway.
unsafe or where there are visible signs of security. But I unfortunately think that we have to increase security in our schools.
Oh, eat shit. Eat shit. What, so you want our kids to go to school in a goddamn military zone? What is wrong with you?
We have to make the doors lock better. We have to make the doors stronger. We've got to make the windows.
The guns from here go to Mexico, not the other way around. Those drug cartels over there, they pay for our guns, okay? Yeah, that's nonsense. This guy's just a liar. He's a liar about abortion. He's a liar about everything. This is a liar.
Stronger. And of course, we've got to increase school resource officers, because the idea
This is pathetic. This is pathetic at this point. Hey, they had a mass shooting in Uvalde. The cops were scared to go in there. They were scared. Yeah,
that we can magically wave a wand and take guns out of the hands of bad guys, it just doesn't fit with recent experience. So we've got to make our
No. How about you cut down the AR-15s and all that? Yeah,
safer. And I think we've got to have some common sense bipartisan solutions for how to do that.
Governor, you have 2 minutes.
Well, I think all the parents watching tonight, this is your biggest night.
They got to be horrified. Yeah,
Mayor, look, I got a 17-year-old and he witnessed a shooting in a community center playing volleyball. Those things don't leave you. As a member of Congress, I sat in my office surrounded by dozens of the Sandy Hook parents, and they were looking at my 7-year-old picture on the wall. Their 7-year-old were dead, and they were asking us to do something. And look, I'm a hunter. I own firearms. The vice president is. We understand that the Second Amendment is there, but our first responsibility is to our kids to figure this out. In Minnesota, we've enacted enhanced red flag laws, enhanced background checks, and we can start to get data. But here's the problem. If we really want to solve this, we've got folks that won't allow research to be even done on gun violence. And this idea that we should just live with it, here's what I do think. That
He's a hack for anybody that'll give him a dime. That hag.
this is a good start to the conversation. I 100% believe that Senator
No, you're too nice, Coach. You're too nice. No, this guy's a fucking liar.
Vance hates it when these kids, it's abhorrent and it breaks your heart. I agree with that. But that's not far enough when we know there are things that work. I've spent time in Finland and seen some Finnish schools. They don't have this happen, even though they have a high gun ownership rate in the country. There are reasonable things that we can do to make a difference. It's not infringing on your Second Amendment. And the idea to have some of these weapons out there, it just doesn't make any sense. Kamala Harris, as an attorney general, worked on this issue. She knows that it's there. No one's trying to scaremonger and say we're taking your guns, but I ask all of you out there, do you want your schools hardened to look like a fort? Is that
Bingo.
Is that what we have to go when we know there's countries around the world that their children aren't practicing these types of drills? They're being kids. We owe it to them to get a fix. These are things that shouldn't be that difficult. You can still keep your firearms and we can make a difference. We have to. If you're listening tonight, this breaks your heart.
Senator?
Tim, first of all, I didn't know that your 17-year-old witnessed a shooting. I'm sorry about that, and I hope that
Oh, no, you don't. No, you don't.
Okay, Christ have mercy. It is awful.
Hey, yeah. Christ have mercy. You hag.
And I appreciate what Tim said actually about Finland, because I do think it illustrates some of the frankly weird differences between our own country's gun violence problem and Finland. Okay, first of all, we have way higher rates of mental health abuse or mental health.
Everybody has mental health problems in their country. Everybody. The only thing is that there's not a gun on every corner in every country. You prick.
Substance abuse. We have way higher rates of depression, way higher rates of anxiety. We unfortunately have a mental health crisis in this
No.
country.
We have a gun problem. That's what we have. It's a gun problem.
I really do think that we need to get to the root causes of, because I don't think it's the whole reason why we have such a bad gun violence problem, but I do think it's a big piece of it. Another drive.
Yeah, we can throw a gun in the trash. We can't throw somebody's messed up head in the trash, you asshole.
Of the gun violence epidemic, especially that affecting our kids, it doesn't earn as many headlines, but is the terrible gun violence problem in a lot of our big cities. And this is why we have to empower law enforcement to arrest the bad guys, put them
They do. What are you talking about?
away, and take gun offenders off the streets.
No, take the gun off the street. How about that?
I think there's a whole host of things that we can do here, but
Bullshit. You're full of shit.
I do think in our schools we've got to talk about more security.
Senator, thank you. Governor, you previously opposed an assault weapons ban, but it's only later in your political career did you change your position. Why?
Yeah, I sat in that office with those Sandy Hook parents. I've become friends with school shooters. I've seen it. Look, the NRA, I was an NRA guy for a long time. They used to teach gun safety. I'm of an age where my shotgun was in my car so I could pheasant hunt after football practice. That's not where we live today. And several things I want to mention on this is,
Wow. Somebody that has actually evolved and it's not a sellout. How about that?
talking about cities and where it's at, the number one where the most firearm deaths happen in Minnesota are rural suicides. And we have an epidemic of children getting guns and shooting themselves. And so we have, and we should look at all of the issues, making sure folks have health care and all that, but I want to be very careful. This idea of stigmatizing mental health, just because you have a mental health issue doesn't mean you're violent. And I think what we end up doing is we start looking for a scapegoat. Sometimes it just is the guns. It's just the guns. And there are things that you can do about it. But I do think that this is one, and I think this is a healthy conversation.
Look. Everybody has the same problems that we have in other countries, and they're not picking up a gun and shooting each other or shooting themselves. Why? They don't have a gun to pick up. How about that?
I think there's a capacity to find solutions on this that work, protect Second Amendment, protect our children. That's our priority.
Gentlemen, thank you. Margaret?
Thank you, Nora. Let's turn now to the top contributor to inflation, the high cost of housing and rent. There's a shortage of more than 4 million homes in the United States.
And Walz and Harris have a plan to make 3 million houses.
And that contributes to the high housing prices. Governor Walz, the Harris campaign promises a $25,000 down payment assistance
That would be nice.
for first-time
And look, it's a plan. It's a plan. It's a strategy. Yeah.
buyers and a $10,000 tax credit. They also promise to build 3 million new.
All things that can be done. All things that can be done. But what we have to do is win all 3 chambers. We do that, we're in.
Homes. Where are you building these homes, and won't handing out that kind of money just drive up prices higher?
Nope, that's a lie.
No, it's not handing out. First, let me say this issue of housing, and I think those of you listening on this,
Did you hear what she just said? Did you hear what she just said? That if you gave out money, that would, are you kidding? Are you kidding? Drive up the price. They don't have homes. What is she talking about?
the problem we've had is that we've got a lot of folks that see housing as another commodity. It can be bought up, it can be shifted, it can be moved around. Those are not folks living in those houses. Those of you listening tonight, that house is a big deal. I bought and owned one house in my life. My mom still lives in the house where I was. And when I think of a house, I'm thinking of Christmas services after midnight mass where you go with your family. We need to make it more affordable. And one of the things, as I said, this program that the vice president is pushing forward and bringing a new way of approaching this is something we're doing in Minnesota from that lead. We in the state invested in making sure our housing was the biggest investment that we'd ever made in housing. It starts to make it easier. We cut some of the red tape, local folks.
Man, look, a plan. How about a plan? A plan. I haven't heard one single plan from the Hag or Stinky. Not one.
Look, we can't do it at the federal level, but local folks make it easier to build those homes. And then that down payment assistance. I can tell all of you out there, certainly for me, using the GI Bill was one thing, but a veteran's home loan, the big thing about a veteran's home loan is you don't have to pay the down payment. Those are things that make it there. Now, look, you're going to pay it back and you're going to pay your mortgage. Those are things that we know in the long run, the appreciated value, the generational wealth that's created from it. And I will give Minneapolis an example. Minneapolis is the one city where we've seen the lowest inflation rates. We've seen a 12% increase in stock because we've put some of these things in. And we're implementing a state program to make sure we get some of that down payment assistance.
Wow, a plan. How about that? A policy. How about that?
We get it back from people because here's what we know.
Okay, Miss Lynn. Good night. Yeah, I'm gonna cut it off soon too. Maybe I'll hear what this guy has to say because I have to put together. I got to go watch some game film. I have a game on for Friday Night Lights that I've got to get on a Zoom call with the officiating crew and all that stuff. Let's continue here for a minute. All right, guys, appreciate you. Let's keep on going a little bit.
People with stable housing end up with stable jobs. People with stable housing have their kids able to get to school. All of those things in the long run end up saving our money. And that's the thing that I think we should be able to find some common ground in, but we can't blame immigrants for the only reason. That's not the case that's happening in many cities. The fact of the matter is that we don't have enough naturally affordable housing, but we can make sure that the government's there to help kickstart it, create that base.
Governor, your time is up. Senator Vance, as far as your campaign's position, the promise is to seize federal lands to build homes, remove regulation, provide...
What? Seize federal land?
tax breaks and cut back on immigration, which you say pushes up prices. Where are you going to build all the new...
Hey, Miss Tracy, it's been pretty fun. Yeah. We're going to continue going here for a little bit. All right. Hey, thanks, Masuni. Yeah.
homes you're promising, and what part of any of this plan will provide immediate
Love you.
relief? You have 2 minutes.
Well, first of all, Tim just said something that I agree with. We don't want to blame immigrants for higher housing.
Oh, yes, you do. Yes, you do.
Prices, but we do want to blame Kamala Harris for letting in millions of illegal aliens
What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
in this country, which does drive up costs, Tim.
Nope. No, it doesn't. Nope.
20
It stimulates the economy. Immigrants stimulate the economy.
5 million illegal aliens competing with Americans for scarce homes is one of the most significant.
That's not true. They're going into these neighborhoods and rebuilding abandoned houses. That's what they're doing.
Drivers of home prices in the country. It's why we have massive increases in
Yeah, so you're telling me that illegal immigrants that are working on the cheap are outbidding Americans for housing. You're making no sense, Hag.
home prices
Lolita, you're fucking up bad.
that have happened right alongside massive increases in illegal alien
That's a lie.
and populations
That's a lie.
under Kamala Harris's leadership.
You're full of shit.
Now, Tim just mentioned a bunch of ideas. Now, some of those ideas I actually think are halfway decent, and some of them I disagree with. But the most important thing here is Kamala Harris is not running as a newcomer to politics. She is the sitting vice president.
Okay, yeah, and? What's your point? We had to get out of Stinky's COVID. Yeah,
If she wants to enact all of these policies to make housing more affordable, I invite her to use the office that the American people already gave her.
Can't do it. It's got to be through Congress. And when we take all the chambers back, it's going to happen.
Not sit around and campaign and do nothing while Americans find the American dream.
Yeah, no, he doesn't answer any questions. He doesn't answer any questions at all.
Homeownership completely unaffordable. Now, you asked, Margaret, what would immediately change the equation for American citizens if you lower energy prices? As Donald Trump says, drill, baby, drill.
What does that even mean? What does that even mean? We're drilling more than ever.
One of the biggest drivers of housing costs, aside from illegal immigration, is think about it.
Nope. Illegal immigration is not driving houses up. That's bullshit.
If a truck driver's paying 40% more for diesel,
Nobody's paying 40% more for diesel. That's bullshit. As a matter of fact, you know what we're going to do? We're going to stop using diesel at some point here, very soon.
then the lumber he's delivering to the job site to build a house is also going to become a lot more expensive.
That's not true. That's a lie.
If we open up American energy, you will get immediate
What do you mean open up American energy? What are you talking about? What are you talking about opening up American energy?
pricing relief for American citizens.
That's nonsense. That's nonsense.
By the way, just in housing, but in a whole host of other economic goods too.
Senator Vance, you still have 23 seconds there. Do you want to answer
Can I have it?
where? Yeah. Governor, we will get to you in a moment. But Senator, where are you going to seize the federal lands? Can you clarify?
Well, what Donald Trump has said is we have a lot of federal lands that aren't being used for anything. They're not being used for national park. They're not being used, and they could be places where we build a lot of housing. And
What are you talking about? What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
do think that we should be opening up building in this country. We have a lot of land that could be used. We have a lot of Americans that need homes. We should be kicking out illegal immigrants who are competing for
Are you listening to this? Are you listening to this? Oh my God, what a moron. What a moron.
those homes, and we should be building more homes for the American citizens who deserve to be here.
Senator, your time is up. Governor, I do want to let you respond to the allegation that the vice president is letting in
Well, of course, that's not
migrants
true. And again,
that
you
it's
have
affecting
facts. I guess we
prices.
agreed not to fact check. I'll check it. That look, crossings are down compared to when Donald Trump left office. But it's again blaming and not trying to find the solution. I was going to ask though on this question: are we going to drill and build houses in the same federal land? I think when people hear federal lands, these are really important pieces of land. Now, Minnesota doesn't have a lot of federal lands. I know in the western part of the country we do. There's not a lot of federal lands in and around Minneapolis, for example. So the issue is I don't understand the federal lands issue unless we see this, and I worry about this as someone who cares deeply about our national parks and our federal lands. Look, Minnesota, we protect them.
Now, in other words, listen to this like from a drone's perspective, right? That clown, the hag, He wants to rot America, right? He wants to destroy our federal lands, right? By drilling on them and cause more havoc, more pollution. What is wrong with this idiot? What is wrong? What is wrong? He wants to destroy America. That Putin-loving hag wants to literally destroy America.
We've got about 20% of the world's fresh water. These lands protect. They're there for a reason. They belong to all of us. But again, this is when you view housing and you view these things as commodities. That there's a chance to make money here. Let's take this federal land and let's sell it to people for that. I think there's better ways to do this. We've seen it in Minnesota. We're able to refurbish some of these houses. We're able to make some investments.
Which is exactly the housing that these immigrants are getting. Houses that nobody else wants.
And I'm still on the fact on this. Economists, Senator Vance, you said you don't like the economists. Which economists are saying that it is immigrants that's adding to the cost?
Governor, your time is up. But Senator, on that point, I'd like for you to clarify. There are many contributing factors to high housing costs. What evidence do you have that migrants are part of this problem?
He doesn't have any. He doesn't have any because he's a liar.
Well, there's a Federal Reserve study that we're happy to share after the debate. We'll put it up on social media, actually. No. Where's the evidence? He won't answer this question again. This guy will not answer that question. Really drills down on the connection between increased levels of migration, especially illegal immigration and high.
No. Not a thing. Answer the question.
Our housing prices. Now, of course, Margaret,
migrants are not making the price of housing go up. That's bullshit.
It's not the entire driver of higher housing prices.
That's not the entire driver, you hag.
It's also the regulatory regime of Kamala Harris.
Exactly, Kimberly. He's a racist.
Look, we are a country of builders. We're a country of doers. We're a country of explorers. But we increasingly have a federal administration that makes...
We're a country of explorers, right? So you want to go on federal land and trash it, right? You literally want to destroy the country.
Makes it harder to develop our resources, makes it harder to build things, and wants to throw people in jail for not doing everything exactly as Kamala Harris says they
What?
have to do. And what that means is that you have a lot of people who would love
what that means
to build homes who aren't able to build homes. I actually agree with Tim Walz. We should get out of this idea of housing as a commodity.
Oh, he's going super gay now. Those S's are hissing off the chain.
But the thing that is most turned housing into a commodity is giving it away to millions upon millions of people who have no legal right to be here.
Nobody's giving away anything to anybody. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Are you high?
What are the federal regulations? I deal with this as a governor.
You can very quickly reply.
I'm sorry. I get this as a governor, and I don't necessarily disagree with that. That in some cases, many of those are local. Many of them are state. I don't know which ones are federal, but I think whenever we talk regulations, people think they can get rid of them. I think you want to be able to get out of your house in a fire. I think you want to make sure that it's fireproof and those types of things. So which are the regulations? Because the vice president's not responsible for those. Congress writes those.
Governor, thank you. Gentlemen, we have a lot to get to. You're passionate about the housing crisis, I can tell. Nora?
Thank you. One of the top problems facing Americans is the high cost of health care. Senator Vance, at the last presidential debate, former President Trump was asked about replacing the Affordable Care Act. In response, he said, I have concepts of a plan. Since then, Senator, you've talked about changing how chronically ill Americans get health insurance. Can you explain how that would work? And can you guarantee that Americans with pre-existing conditions won't pay more?
Okay, remember that question. Let's see if Hagatha answers it.
I'll give you 2 minutes.
Well, of course, we're going to cover Americans with pre-existing conditions.
How? You kill Obamacare, now how are you going to cover them?
In fact, a lot of my family members have
Nobody cares. How?
gotten health care.
Nobody cares.
I believe, members of my family actually got private health insurance, at least for the first time, switched off of Medicaid onto private insurance for the
Yeah, right. You're a goddamn liar. I don't believe that for a second.
first time under Donald Trump's leadership. And I think that
But what? So Donald Trump, right? For the reason that they got off of Medicaid and got onto a private plan was because of Donald Trump. Are you listening to how preposterous that stupid shit sounds?
a lot of people have criticized this concept of a
They have criticized this. Bro, you're flaming. You're flaming.
plan remark. It's very
Hey,
simple.
thank you, Megatron.
Common sense. I think it's Tim Walz's notes from 12 years in Congress. You're not going to propose a 900-page bill standing on a debate stage. It would bore everybody to tears, and it wouldn't actually mean anything because part of this is the
Bullshit. Over 20 million people have health care and for pre-existing conditions because of that bill. Okay? What do you want to do? You liar.
give and take of bipartisan negotiation. Now, when Donald Trump was actually president, and again, he has a record to be proud of, prescription drugs fell in 2018
Bullshit. That's a lie.
for the first time
That's a lie.
in a very long time.
That's a lie.
And under Kamala Harris,
That's a lie.
this is leadership. Prescription drugs are up about 7%.
Bullshit. That's a lie.
Under Donald Trump's entire 4 years, they were up about 1.5%.
Bullshit. That's a lie.
He introduced pricing transparency. You think about healthcare. You go into a hospital, you try to buy something, and nobody knows what it actually costs. That price transparency will actually give American consumers.
Who here goes into a hospital and tries to buy something other than from the vending machine?
A little bit more choice, and will also drive down costs. And we talked about,
You can have a private health care plan here if you want. That's nonsense. That's nonsense.
the insurance regulations is what I was talking about. Look, Donald
Yeah. You want to talk about insurance? What DeSantis has done down here is criminal. That's one of the reasons that we're leaving. Our insurance got jacked because of him.
Trump has said that if we allow states to experiment a little bit on how to cover both the chronically ill,
That's bullshit. That is complete nonsense.
but the non-chronically ill, it's not just a plan. He actually implemented some of these regulations when he was president
No, he
of the
didn't.
United States.
No, he didn't. You're a fucking liar.
And I think you can make a really good argument that it salvaged Obamacare, which was
He didn't have a policy. Remember how he was going to fix healthcare in 6 months with a plan? Remember that? Oh, I used Trump's plan, said no one.
doing disastrously until Donald Trump came along. And I think it's an important point about President Trump. Of course, you don't have to agree with everything that President Trump has ever said
He's an asshole, is what he is.
or ever done. But when Obamacare was crushing under the weight of its own regulatory burden
No, it wasn't. No, what are you talking about? That's a lie.
and healthcare costs, Donald Trump could have destroyed the program. Instead,
He tried to.
he worked in a bipartisan way to ensure that Americans had
Bullshit. That's a complete rewrite of history.
access to affordable care. It's not perfect, of course, and there's so much more that
What? Wait. What was his plan? What was the plan that he implemented? Hey, thanks, Tracy. What was the plan that he implemented?
we can do, but I think that Donald Trump has earned the right to put in place some better healthcare policies.
Hey, he had 4 years to do it. He had 4 years. What are you talking about?
He's earned it because he did it successfully the first time.
What? Oh my God. Oh.
All right, here's where being an old guy gives you some history. I was there at the creation of the ACA. And the reason it was so important is I come from a major healthcare state, home of the Mayo Clinic, home to Medical Alley, 3M, Medtronic, all of those. We understand healthcare. It's why we're ranked first on affordability and accessibility and quality of healthcare. And
Wow, that's impressive.
so what I know is under Kamala Harris, More
Did you see? He never answered that question. He never answered that question. Never. Never.
people are covered than they have before. And those of you listening, this is critical to you. Now, Donald Trump all of a sudden wants to go back and remember this. He ran on the first thing he was going to do on day one was to repeal Obamacare. On day one, he tried to sign an executive order to repeal the ACA. He signed on to a lawsuit to repeal the ACA, but lost at the Supreme Court. And he would have repealed the ACA had it not been for the courage of John McCain to save that bill.
Now, that's history right there. That's history.
Fast forward, what that means to you is you lose your pre-existing conditions. If you're sitting at home and you got asthma, too bad. If you're a woman, probably not. Broke your foot during football, might kick you out. Your kids get kicked out when they're 26. Kamala Harris negotiated drug prices for the first time with Medicare. We have 10 drugs that will come online, the most common ones that'll be there. But look, this issue, and when Donald Trump said, I got a concept
All plans, all work done.
of a plan, it cracked me up as a fourth grade teacher because my kids would have never given me that. But what Senator Vance just explained might be worse than a concept, because what he explained.
I got news for you. This guy speaks in eloquent phrases, this hag, right? But he lied about a bunch of shit. He's lied about a bunch of shit, okay?
Is pre-Obamacare. And I'll make this as simple as possible because I have done this for a long time. What they're saying is, if you're healthy, why should you be paying more? So what they're going to do is let insurance companies pick who they insure, because guess what happens? You pay your premium, it's not much. They figure they're not going to have to pay out to you. But those of you a little older, gray, got cancer, you're going to get kicked out of it. That's why the system didn't work. Kamala Harris will protect and enhance the ACA.
Governor, thank you. Senator, you have not yet explained how you would protect people.
I told you. He never answered the question. That was 20 minutes ago.
With pre-existing conditions, or laid out that plan.
Well, look, we currently have laws and regulations in place right now that protect people with pre-existing conditions.
Yeah, it's called the ACA, the one that Stinky wanted to repeal.
We want to keep those regulations in place, but we also want to make the health insurance marketplace function a little bit better. Now,
How? Wait. He still hasn't answered the question.
What Walsh just said is actually not true.
Oh, it is. It's true.
A lot of what happened and the reason that Obamacare was crushing under its own weight.
Nope, it wasn't.
Is that
It still isn't. It still isn't. It's still a thing. It's still happening. What are you talking about?
The young and healthy people were leaving the exchanges. Donald Trump actually helped address that problem, and he did so in a way that preserved people's access to coverage who had pre-existing conditions.
What are you talking about? What did he do? What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
But again, something that these guys do is they make a lot of claims about if Donald Trump becomes president, all of these terrible consequences are going to ensue. But in reality, Donald Trump was president.
TYT are a bunch of morons. The people that follow that TYT, right, are the reason that we got Trump. Okay? All right? Yeah, that Cenk Younger's an idiot. Okay? Yeah, yeah, I'll say it right here. That's a prick. The reason his block of voters was the reason that we got Trump in the first place. Okay? Yeah, there you go.
Was low, take-home pay was higher, and he saved the very program from a Democratic administration that was collapsing and would have collapsed absent.
It still hasn't collapsed. What is he talking about? What is he talking about? Here we are, and Obama implemented this, and it's still going. What are you talking about collapsing? What are you, high?
His leadership. He did his job, which is govern in a bipartisan way and get results, not just complain about problems, but actually solve them.
Governor, did enrollment
What problems did he solve? What are you talking about?
under the Affordable Care Act go up under the Trump administration?
It's higher now that we've seen it go up. Look, people are using it. The system works.
Yeah. Okay. And it went up, right? It went up, and it wasn't because of him. It wasn't because of him. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? It's a good plan. Why do you think it went up?
And the
Yeah, and he wanted to kill it. What are you talking about, lady?
question about this of young people or whatever, that's the individual mandate piece of this. And Republicans fought tooth and nail saying, well, Americans should be free to do this. Well, then
So
what
you think
happens
the individual mandate's a good idea?
I think the idea of making sure the risk pool is broad enough to cover everyone, that's the only way insurance works. When it doesn't, it collapses. You are asking pre-ACA where we get people out. Look, people know that they need to be on health care. People expect it to be there. And when we are able to make it, and we are making it this way, when we incentivize people to be in the market.
That guy, Sam Cedar, he's one vocal cord away from becoming Kennedy Jr.
Market, when we help people who might not be able to afford it get there, and we make sure then when you get sick and old, it's there for you. Because I heard people say, well, I don't want to buy into Medicare or whatever. Good luck buying health care once you get past 70. So look, the ACA works. We can continue to do better. Kamala Harris did that. The way she made everything better was negotiating those 10 drugs on Medicare for the first time.
That TYT crowd, they think that everything is everybody's bought and paid for and all that stupid shit, you know. That's not true. That's not true. Good things get done through government. Sure, there's people that are bought and paid for, especially in the Republican Party, you know. But it's not all conspiratorial bullshit that, you know, the oil people own this and everything and all that. That's bullshit. That's nonsense, you know. No. They're a little conspiratorial themselves.
In American history.
Thank you, Margaret.
Can I
Or,
address that?
I apologize, we're out of time, we have a number of subjects to discuss. Margaret?
Let's talk about families in America. There is a child care crisis in this country. And
Oh, I remember when Stinky tried to solve it. That was hilarious.
the United States is one of the very few developed countries in the world without a national paid leave program for new parents. Governor Walz, you said that if Democrats win both the White House and Congress, this is a day one priority for
There you go. There you go. Because the hag would never do that.
you. How long should employers be required to pay workers while they are home taking care of their newborns? You have 2 minutes.
Yeah, well, that's negotiable.
No, keep them here. Let me play with them a little bit. Hey, here, okay, actual facts are that Zelensky has taken a bunch of bombs with him back to Ukraine, right? In that war where you're getting your ass kicked. Sleepy Joe is killing your army. Yeah, that's right. That's right. And we just sent Zelensky back with a bunch of bombs that we autographed that are going to rain down on your head. Remember when you were supposed to be in Kyiv right now? What happened? What happened?
And that's what Congress worked. But here's what the deal is. American
Boom!
sitting out there right now. You may work for a big company. Look, we're home in Minnesota.
All you Russians do is talk shit because you can't fight a war. You suck at it. You're all down. You're sending 50-year-old men to fight a war, man. That's bad. Them Ukrainians done killed about 1 million of y'all.
To some of the largest Fortune 500 companies. Kamala Harris knows that in California. Those companies provide paid family medical leave. One is, I think they're moral and they think it's a good thing, but it also keeps their employees healthy. We in Minnesota passed a paid family medical leave. You have a child, and I had to go to work 5 days after my kids were born. This allows
Hey, where did my bot go? Where did my bot go? Come on, man.
you to stay home a certain amount of time. What we know is that gets the child off to a better start. The family works better. We stay in their employers. We get more consistency in that. So
Yeah, he ain't got shit.
Kamala Harris has made it a priority. We implemented it in Minnesota, and we see growth. That's how you become a pro-business state. But the negotiations on it, and here's the issue. Those big companies are able to offer it. Those of you out there who don't have it, just imagine what happens if you get cancer or your child gets sick. We know what happens. you end up staying home. In some places, that means no paycheck because you've got no protection on that. This is the case of an economy that Donald Trump has said for the wealthiest amongst us. He's willing to give those tax breaks to the wealthiest. He's willing to say, bust those unions up, do whatever. What we're saying is the economy works best when it works for all of us. And so a paid family medical leave program, and I will tell you, go to the families or go to the businesses and ask them. As far as childcare on this, you have to take it at both the supply and the demand side. You can't expect the most important people in our lives to take care of our children or our parents to get paid the least amount of money. And we have to make it easier for folks to be able to get into that business and then to make sure that folks are able to pay for that. We were able to do it in Minnesota, and I'm still telling you this. We were listed as the best state. We're still in crisis on this. A federal program of paid family medical leave and help with this will enhance our workforce, enhance our families, and make it easier to have the children that you want.
Governor, your time is up. Senator, do you support a national paid leave program? And if so...
Answer, for the love of God, Matilda, answer at least one question. Answer one question.
For how long should employers be mandated to pay their employees while they are home taking care of their newborn? You have 2 minutes.
Yeah, well, first of all, Margaret, a number of my Republican colleagues and some Democrats, too, have worked on this issue, and I think there is a bipartisan solution here because...
No, there isn't. Well, then why hasn't it happened?
This issue.
Why hasn't it happened? Because y'all trash it at every turn. At every turn. And what would you know? You don't vote on anything because you're a lazy sack of shit.
Look, I speak from this very personally because I'm married to a beautiful woman who's...
Hey, that's a Russian. That GTO is a Russian. And he's already run away because he's got to go hide in a bunker because bombs are raining down on him. Brought to you courtesy of the red, white, and blue.
An incredible mother to our 3 beautiful kids.
Oh, here he goes with the 3 kids again. Herbert is getting jealous.
She's also a very, very brilliant corporate litigator, and I'm so proud of her. But being a working mom, even for somebody with all of the advantages of my wife, is extraordinarily difficult.
Really? 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 What, 2 nannies isn't enough?
And it's not just difficult from a policy perspective. She actually had access to paid family leave because she worked for a bigger company.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. You're saying how comfortable you are. He's over here bragging about how comfortable he is to the rest of the country. How about that? No, and isn't everything supposed to be so bad? Your old lady has paid leave for the kids that are a prop for you. Yeah.
But the cultural pressure on young families and especially young women, I think makes it really hard for people to choose the family model they want. A lot of young women...
Okay, yeah. Let's go forward. Let me see. What's the question?
Clear. Whether it's 5,000 or 6,000, that pays you about 3 or 4 months. Let's be clear of where we're at on this. It's because we got...
Tax credit plan. Yeah, it's a good plan. Yeah. Would you challenge the 2020 election results? Let's hear this.
Their fellow citizens, and it's Kamala Harris saying that rather than debate and persuade her fellow Americans, she'd like to see...
Hold on.
He said that on January the 6th, the protesters...
That has been called unconstitutional and illegal. Would you again...
Hold on. This is good.
After the 2020 election, President Trump's campaign and others filed 62 lawsuits contesting the results. Judges, including those appointed by President Trump and other Republican presidents, looked at the evidence and said there was no widespread fraud.
Because there hasn't been.
The governors of every state in the nation, Republicans and Democrats, certified the 2020 election results and sent a legal slate of electors to Congress for January 6th. Senator Vance, you have said you would not have certified the last presidential election and would have asked the states to submit alternative electors.
Those are fake electors, not alternative. Those are fake. It's a fraud. That was part of the coup attempt, okay? Yeah.
That has been called unconstitutional and illegal. Would you again seek to challenge this year's election results, even if every governor certifies the results? I'll give you 2 minutes.
Well, Laura, first of all, I think that we're focused on the future. We need to
No. Answer the question. This is a good one. Answer it.
how to solve the inflation crisis caused by Kamala Harris.
Nope.
Versus policies, make housing affordable, make groceries affordable, and
Don't care about the potatoes.
that's what we're focused on. But I want to answer your question because you did ask it. Look, what President Trump has said is that there were problems in 2020.
And there weren't. That was a lie.
And my own belief is that we should fight about those issues, debate those issues peacefully.
Nope. There was no debate. This is no debate. There is no debate here. That was one of the safest elections, and he lied about it. And then he sicked his mouth breathers on cops, and cops died that day. Okay? Those are the facts, period.
In the public square, and that's all I've said, and that's all that Donald Trump has said. Remember,
Bullshit. Ask Mike Pence. Aren't you trying to be his vice president? Ask Mike Pence.
he said that on January the 6th, the protesters ought to protest peacefully.
Nope. Fight like hell.
And on January the 20th, what happened? Joe Biden became the president. Donald Trump left the White House.
Yeah, no. So what? You want to just you want to just forget about what happened that day? Huh? You dumb son of a bitch. You anti-American prick, you.
House. And now, of course, unfortunately, we have all of the negative policies that have come from the Harris.
Nope. Don't care about the policies. Nope. Answer the question.
Biden administration. I believe that we actually do have a threat to democracy in this country, but unfortunately...
No. Yeah, it's him. It's him. Or did you not see what happened on January the 6th? And with your fake electors.
It's not the threat to democracy that Kamala Harris...
Bullshit. That race-baiting prick. You anti-American hag, you.
And Tim Walz want to talk about is
lies. All lies.
The threat of censorship. It's
what?
Americans casting aside lifelong friendships because of disagreements over politics.
Bullshit. Hey, look, at least they can have their disagreements. What are you talking about? He's talking about censorship, and he's in front of a microphone. Are you kidding me?
It's big technology companies.
Oh, hey, forget about big technology. Let's talk about January the 6th.
Silencing their fellow citizens. And it's Kamala Harris saying that rather than debate and persuade her fellow Americans, she'd like to...
Wait. Would you challenge the results of the election? Answer the question.
Censor people who engage in misinformation. I think that is a much bigger threat to democracy.
Nope. Answer the question.
Than anything that we've seen.
Answer the question.
In this country.
Answer the question.
Last 4 years.
Answer the question.
Last 40 years.
Answer the question.
Now, I'm really proud.
Answer the question.
Especially given that I was raised by two lifelong blue-collar Democrats to have...
Your mother was a junkie. Answer the question.
Have the endorsement of Bobby Kennedy Jr. and Tulsi Gabbard.
Mr. Fleming the airhead.
Long leaders in the Democratic coalition.
Answer the question.
And of course, they
answer the question.
Agree with me and Donald Trump on every issue. We don't have to agree.
Answer the question.
On every issue, but we're united behind a basic American first.
Yeah, what, to take it over because you lost the election? They try to just steal it, take it by force? You dumb shit, try to take this government by force, you asshole?
And the principle that we ought to debate our differences. We ought to argue about.
What are you talking about? Answer the question. Will you challenge the 2024 results?
Then we ought to try to persuade our fellow Americans.
And forget about debate. Forget about it. Answer the question.
Kamala Harris is engaged in censorship.
No, she's not. She's never told you once to shut up, okay?
At an industrial scale. She did.
At an industrial scale? What are you talking about?
During COVID. She's done it over a number of...
No, she didn't. Hey, during COVID. Let me ask you a question. Who was the president during COVID? Yeah, you dumb shit. She wasn't in office to tell people, to censor people, to tell them to shut up.
Other issues, and that to me is a much bigger threat to democracy than what Donald Trump said when he said that protesters should peacefully protest on January the...
What are you talking about? he literally tried to topple the government. It's amazing. It's mind-blowing. We are still embarrassed because I got people in the feed from all over the world, right? That can't believe that idiot is running for president and that the fact that he should be in jail.
Sixth.
Governor?
He never answered the question. He never answered the question.
Well, I've enjoyed tonight's debate. I think there was a lot of commonality here, and I'm sympathetic to misspeaking on things, and I think I might have with the senator. But
Me too, man.
There's one.
You fucking liar.
But this one is troubling to me, and I say that because I think we need to tell the story. Donald Trump refused to acknowledge this, and the fact is that I don't think we can be the frog in the pot and let the boiling water go up. He was very clear. I mean, he lost this election, and he said he did. 140 police officers were beaten at the Capitol that day, some with the American flag, several later died. And it wasn't just in there. In Minnesota, a group gathered on the state capitol grounds in St. Paul and said, we're marching to the governor's residence and there may be casualties. The only person there was my son and his dog, who was rushed out crying by state police. That issue, and Mike Pence standing there as they were chanting, hang Mike Pence. Mike Pence made the right decision. So, Senator, it was adjudicated over and over and over. I worked with kids long enough to know, and I said as a football coach, sometimes you really want to win, but the democracy is bigger than winning an election. You shake hands, and then you try and do everything you can to help the other side win. That's what was at stake here. Now, the thing I'm most concerned about is the idea that imprisoning your political opponents, already laying the groundwork for people not accepting this. And a president's words matter. A president's words matter. People hear that. So I think this issue of settling our differences at the ballot box, shaking hands when we lose, being honest about it, but to deny what happened on January 6th, the first time in American history that a president or anyone tried to overturn a fair election and the peaceful transfer of power. And here we are 4 years later in the same boat. I will tell you this, that when this is over, we need to shake hands this election, and the winner needs to be the winner. This has got to stop. It's tearing our country apart.
No. He's not going to do that, okay? You're too nice. He's not going to do that. You dumb shit.
Margaret?
Senator Vance, did you want to respond to that?
Yeah, well, look, Tim.
Why doesn't he answer the question? Why didn't he? He's never answered the question. Are you going to accept the results of the election? You see, these dingbats didn't put his feet to the fire.
First of all, it's really rich for Democratic leaders to say that Donald Trump is a unique threat to democracy.
He is. Bro, he just tried to tell with he's tried to overthrow he's literally tried to overthrow the government. What are you talking about?
When he peacefully gave over power on January the 20th, as we have.
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? This is disgusting.
Done for 250 years in this country. We're going to shake hands after this debate and after this election. And of course, I hope that we win, and I think we're going to win. But if Tim Walz is the next vice president, he'll have my prayers, he'll have my best wishes, and he'll have my help whenever he wants it.
He still hasn't answered the question. He won't answer the question.
But
will you accept the results? That's the question.
To remember that for years in this country, Democrats protested the results of elections.
Bullshit. That's a lie. That's a lie.
Hillary Clinton in
That's a lie. Yeah, but did they try to overthrow the government by force and with the scam of fake electors? No, not even close. Hillary Clinton conceded the day after. Okay? So shut up. You liar.
2016 said that Donald Trump had the election stolen.
Nope. No, she didn't.
By Vladimir Putin.
Yeah. Oh, that's true. That's true. He got in with help. Yeah, he did.
Because the Russians bought like $500,000 worth of Facebook ads. This has been going on for a long time. And if we want to say that we need to respect the results of the election, I'm on board. But if we want to say, as Tim Walz is saying, that this is just a problem that Republicans have had.
No, it is. It is. An overthrow of the government, that's a Republican problem.
I don't buy that.
Governor.
January 6th was not Facebook ads. And I think a revisionist history on this. Look, I don't understand how we got to this point. But the issue was that happened. Donald Trump, can you do it? And all of us say there's no place for this. It has massive repercussions. This idea that there's censorship to stop people from threatening to kill someone.
Yeah, threatening to kill someone, trafficking kids, child pornography. Yeah, that needs to be censored. The hell is this guy talking about? Yeah,
Threatening to do something. That's not censorship. Censorship is book banning. We've seen that.
Yeah, exactly. And that's dictatorship.
We've seen that brought up. I just think for everyone tonight, and I'm going to thank Senator Vance, I think this is the conversation they want to hear. And I think there's a lot of agreement. This is one that we are miles apart on. This was a threat to our democracy in a way that we had not seen. And it manifested itself because of Donald Trump's inability to say. He is still saying he didn't lose the election. I would just have to say, did he lose the 2020 election?
Tim, I'm focused on
Answer the question. Oh, he asked him again. Oh.
future. Did Kamala Harris censor Americans from speaking their mind
Nope. No, she didn't.
in the wake of the 2020 COVID situation?
Nope. She wasn't the president. Simple as that.
Has
That
she tried to-
is a damning non-answer.
has she? It's a damn
Yep, absolutely.
non-answer for you to not talk about censorship. Obviously, Donald Trump and I think that there were problems in 2020. We've talked about
What problems? What problems? What problems?
it. I'm happy to talk about it further. But you guys
Answer the question. Answer the question. That's a question Stinky doesn't want you to answer.
attack us for not believing in democracy. The most sacred right under the United States democracy is the First Amendment. You yourself have said
You're an idiot. Answer the question.
there's no First Amendment right to misinformation. Kamala Harris wants to use the
threatening
power
hate
of
speech.
government and big tech to silence people from
That's nonsense. Yeah. No, they don't want people to traffic people on the internet or talk shit about little kids. You prick.
speaking their minds. That is
Or be a goddamn Nazi.
a
Yeah.
threat to democracy that will long outlive this present political moment. I would like Democrats and Republicans to both reject
Oh, eat shit. Eat shit already. And still, when that question was asked, right, about 15 minutes ago, like 4 and 5 times, even Waltz asked him that. He can't answer that. He won't. Because he's a punk. He's a pussy.
shit. Let's persuade one another. Let's argue about ideas, and then let's come together afterwards.
You can't yell fire in a crowded theater. That's the test.
Yeah.
That's the Supreme Court
Yeah.
test.
Tim,
Yep.
fire in a crowded theater. You guys wanted to kick people off of Facebook for saying that toddlers shouldn't
Senator,
wear
the governor
masks.
does
That's
have the
not
floor.
Fire in a crowded theater. That is criticizing the policies of the government, which is the right of every American.
Senator, the governor
You're an idiot. He didn't.
does have the floor for 1 minute to respond to you.
Yeah, well, I don't run Facebook. What I do know is I see a candidate out there who refused, and now again, and this I'm pretty shocked by this. He lost the election. This is not a debate. It's not anything anywhere other than in Donald Trump's world. Because look, when Mike Pence made that decision to certify that election, that's why Mike Pence isn't on this stage. What I'm concerned about is where is the firewall with Donald Trump? Where is the firewall if he knows he could do anything, including taking an election, and his vice president's not going to stand to it? That's what we're asking you, America. Will you stand up? Will you keep your oath of office, even if the president doesn't? And I think Kamala Harris would agree. She wouldn't have picked me if she didn't think I would do that, because of course that's what we would do. So America, I think you've got a really clear choice on this election of who's going to honor that democracy and who's going to honor Donald Trump.
Governor, your time is up. Thank you, gentlemen. We will be right back with both of our candidates. The CBS News Vice President.
All right, guys. Hey, forget about GTO. He's busy dodging bombs, okay? Because you see, Russians are pussies. They're pussies. They're pussies. They're getting their ass handed to them by Ukraine, and he can't think that's all they are, shit talkers. Because they're terrible at fighting a war, and so they got to come over here and talk shit because all they have is empty shelves, right, at the grocery store, and they have to eat porridge. Porridge. The Russian diet, porridge and vodka. In a dilapidated shit-ass neighborhood. That's the way they roll. That's the way they roll, and they're jealous. That's why they become bots, and they try to trash us and divide us at every turn. These Russians, they're a bunch of bent-nosed pussies. That's what they are, you know? Trying to scare somebody with a troll, and all they do is talk shit. They talk shit. Zelensky's pounding them. He's killing all of them. I tell you what, guys. I'll cut some funny videos of this shit tomorrow. I'll have some time in the morning after I do some work. You guys be good, man. It was fun. It was fun. But I got to cut it loose, man. It's been 160 minutes. See y'all later. Bye. Bye, guys. Love you.